hate Lou Reed.
I love
God,
Lou
he's
Reed.
fucking awful. This song is terrible.
You don't like Lou Reed?
No, I don't.
Why?
It's actually
Take a walk on the wild side.
Oh.
He knows how to write a song about New York City. This man.
It stinks.
It doesn't stink.
Stinks.
It was a huge hit.
It was a big hit
back in 1972, I think.
It's one of those. The reason I hate it so much is because it's one of those things that you hear on 104.3. It's like, or where you hear on the old NEW when I would try to hear Sabbath and they would never play anything I liked. And you turn on, it'd be this fucking guy again. He can't sing.
So you would hear this over and over again. You just wanted your Black Sabbath song,
or anything but this. He's just the worst.
Oh, I love that song.
Oof.
It's kind of hack because it's so popular. People go a lot deeper with Lou Reed, certainly.
I like the one. What's the one Ron and Fez used to play at the end? That one I kind of like. I hadn't heard it.
Satellite of Love.
Yeah, that one I kind of.
That's a good one.
What about Perfect Day?
I don't think I know that one. I don't go very far with Lou Reed. I go one song deep and I'm out. I put my foot in the water and I didn't like the temperature, and that was it.
Take a walk on the wild side. I like it.
I don't ever catch myself listening to that song, but I will listen to Perfect Day over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
If I wasn't forced to listen to that on every commercial radio station, it wouldn't be as bad, but oh. Of course, he's just talking.
Why does he bother you? There's emotion in it, though. You can feel like
he's a New York guy.
And he's got that depression.
Yeah.
He's not happy with himself.
He shouldn't be.
He wishes he could sing.
Yes.
That's what he's sad about.
What'd you do with the money
What?
that your mom gave you for singing lessons? You ever hear that one?
He paints a nice picture of New York City.
Good, let him do it quietly.
He paints a wonderful picture.
Tell him to keep painting.
Yeah, paint silently.
Well, he's not doing anything these days.
Hope you're better with a brush than your vocals.
Yeah.
Perfect Day.
This is okay.
I like Take a Walk on the Wild Side a little better.
Well,
Actually, a lot of the stations I worked for over the years, they didn't play it a lot.
I'm just sick of it. It's like one of those things I've been hearing for years. Like it's the only. It reminds me of every classic rock station that I hated because they played the same. You know what they do.
I hear you.
Terrible.
The same 100 songs over and over
It's
again.
endless.
That's how we grew up.
Oh, this one is not that. What does that remind me of that we were just listening to? Like that Rocky Horror Show era, like 75.
Yeah.
Did someone cover that song?
I feel like it was in a commercial.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard it and enjoyed it more by someone else.
I think it was.
What?
I want to say it was in a commercial.
It might have been.
For like car insurance or something, home insurance or for Tamps. Maybe it's a Tamp commercial.
No, I wouldn't say a perfect day if it's a tampon commercial.
Well, no,
Some
the product makes it a perfect day.
Maybe.
Got to make sure it soaks up, all the goodness.
Yeah, that's what she's saying to you. I'm glad I spent my day with you, Tamp.
Yeah, I think it's a Tamp commercial.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll find out. So,
it was in a PlayStation commercial last year.
Yes, it
Played
was.
a lot. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Okay, I felt like it was in a commercial, but it wasn't a Tamp commercial.
No.
Oh well, they should consider that next time for the new Tamp product.
I could see it fitting.
Man, I don't know about this Caitlyn Jenner. I'll tell you right the F now.
What is there not to know?
There's a lot of airbrushing going on in the photos, but no one wants to mention that part of the story.
Well, I think people know that, and they're just trying to be nice because it's.
I think everyone's just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling Sam, it's if you're an older guy, this is very shocking because we grew up with Bruce Jenner as the most amazing athlete in our country.
That's right.
And the younger generation just sees him as a goofball from a reality show that now has tits.
I did. I always thought he was just some beaten down house husband.
Right.
Yeah.
So it depends on your age, how you're handling this, I think. I mean, good for Bruce Jenner, who is now Caitlyn Jenner. In the end, good for him.
It's a weird way to preface that statement, but I
understand because they showed it in the paper today with his giant Olympic legs, winning gold medals or one gold medal for America.
He's an athletic lady.
And I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Jimmy?
I haven't seen the other photos other than as we're talking, I'm looking at the Daily News.
Yeah.
And this is obviously airbrushing, but that's the way it is for anybody who's 60. You know, or how old is
65, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the airbrushing is to be expected, but...
Yeah, well, and there's the hiding of the hands. Those giant hands that were throwing javelins and shot puts.
That's a great point. The hands are being hidden.
Look, every picture, the hands are behind. And is there some tucking going on?
Dick tucking, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it has to be.
I don't know if that's been confirmed or not.
There's rumors that he had the surgery.
Right, that's what hasn't
Some
been
are saying
confirmed.
Bruce, Caitlin had the surgery.
Is it a tuck or a cut? That's the question.
Can we still say Bruce for a little while?
No.
I mean, this just hit yesterday.
Caitlin's already got 1 million Twitter followers. She's Caitlin. Bruce is dead. There's no more Bruce Jenner.
I'm not going to follow Caitlin on Twitter.
Well, everyone else is.
I was by accident. What's happening with fucking Twitter? No, I actually didn't mean to.
What do you mean by accident?
My account has been following.
His penis hit his phone.
No, my account has followed a few people. Twitter's doing some fucking weird shit, man. Because there's been times where I found myself following people who I had no intention on following.
Maybe you just, slipped when you were looking at Caitlin's pictures.
You're subconscious following people.
Yeah, I had no interest to see Caitlyn Jenner. I gotta check it every day and make sure it doesn't add people to my fucking follow list. What's
I think Twitter. I think Twitter pumps up everyone's numbers because it keeps you interested.
I mean, don't make me follow people I don't want to follow. Like, that's bothers me.
I got a whole bunch of followers out of nowhere, and people think I bought followers. I certainly did not buy followers, but someone out there decided to pump up my numbers.
Can someone buy you followers without you?
Yeah, that's how Bobo woke up one morning with 350,000 followers.
It happened to me too, and people thought I did it. I'm telling you, I'm going on record to say I did not.
You were gifted followers.
I was gifted. Someone decided that I needed my numbers pumped up.
Boy, did that.
It certainly looks impressive, but I know what my real number is. It's not that.
Right.
But with that said, Caitlyn Jenner is the quickest person to 1 million followers, beating out Obama, who did it last week. Obama did it in 4.5 hours. Why do I know this, and why does it matter? Who gives a fuck? Obama made it to 1 million followers in, I think, 4.5 hours.
Okay.
And Caitlyn Jenner made it in just over 4, I believe, setting the record for the quickest Twitter account.
Do you remember how long it took Ashton Kutcher and CNN? You remember that was the big news story at one point
when they first hit 1 million.
Who will be first to 1 million followers? Will it be him or will it be them?
Ashton Kutcher is a chump.
Charlie Sheen did it pretty quick too.
Yeah. But
he had tiger blood, though.
Oh, that's a good point.
Kutcher is a chump, though. He got rid of his Twitter a long time ago.
Is it gone?
Or did he give it to his publicist?
Yeah, his publicist.
Well, remember he had that dramatic statement that he came out with, and then
he just can't trust himself.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I think he has control of it again because he's
back.
He was in a little trouble like a couple weeks ago for telling Josh Hamilton to go have a beer. And Josh Hamilton's a baseball player who's in recovery.
Oh no!
So why is he?
Oh no!
Why is he in trouble for that?
Because you're telling an addict who just
but did he know that Josh Hamilton?
Yeah, it was a big story that he relapsed before the beginning of the season.
All right, whatever. I think Josh Hamilton could handle a dumb tweet from Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
athletes talk to each other.
Why does the rest of the world have to get involved?
I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Charlie Sheen. That was Charlie Sheen who said that. Not
Charlie Sheen.
I'm sorry.
Well, you expect Charlie Sheen to say stuff like that.
Right. He's drinking tiger
Go
blood.
have a brewski.
So
that's what he said.
So Kutcher is not really tweeting, actively tweeting. He bailed a few years ago.
What a coward.
And he had a statement that his statement was, you said
something to the effect
something like,
of
I
not
can't
being
trust
able to-
myself.
Yeah.
I can't handle the responsibility.
Yeah.
That's why actors are fucking repulsive.
Quits Twitter over what? Over Paterno tweets. Oh, that's right. It was about Joe Paterno. That's right.
Quits Twitter.
And that was like 4 years ago. 3.5 years ago, something like that.
God, that's awful.
Yeah. So Caitlyn Jenner is the quickest to 1 million followers. It took just over 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the tweets. That's the only reason I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I have no interest in what.
Yeah, but there
Caitlyn
might be some
Jenner
more
says.
sexy photos. Selfies and
I
shit.
think those are as good as you're going to get.
You think so?
Yeah, think so.
Oh my God! You get Annie Leibovitz, the famed photographer.
Yeah, but they have all those iPhone apps now that smooth out the edges.
Oh,
Do they?
A few filters.
Oh, yeah.
You think Caitlyn will be using a few filters when she's Instagramming?
It probably wouldn't hurt anything.
Can we say Bruce Jenner just for like a couple
Absolutely
more days?
not.
Couple
Absolutely
more days.
not.
No.
No, it's disrespectful.
No, someone got in trouble yesterday for saying, I'll still call you Bruce.
Who was it? Some Nickelodeon
Drake
star.
Bell.
It
He
was
was on Drake
Drake.
and Josh.
Oh, not Drake and Josh.
I know, right?
How old is Drake Bell?
He's in his 20s now.
Oh, no, he's in trouble.
Old enough to know better.
I'll say you're right, Sam.
Yeah, he tweeted something like, okay, but I'll still call you Bruce.
He just wrote, sorry, still calling you Bruce.
He's like in his 20s. He wasn't even alive for the Olympics thing. What do you mean still calling you Bruce? He's one of these kids that just knows him
as a
from
reality
the Kardashian
goofball
thing. Yeah. So
Going back to my point.
He was attached to Bruce Jenner?
Yeah.
I'm still going to call you Bruce. In my mind.
I'm trying to think. All right. So for the newer people out there, you fast forward a couple decades.
Yeah.
And LeBron James is now a woman.
Whoa. That'd be fucking crazy.
This is what the older guys are dealing with today, okay? Just imagine.
That wouldn't make any sense at all.
Just imagine going 25 years into the future and LeBron James is on the cover of Vanity Fair as a woman, hiding his giant hands.
And he looks like Medea?
And now now LeBron James has tits.
That'd be terrifying. I don't understand that at all.
Wouldn't that freak you out a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. It's a little weird.
But not Bruce Jenner. I mean, Caitlyn Jenner. She's a beautiful soul.
That's what all the celebrities are saying. I got the celebrity tweets here. Kendall Jenner. She tweeted, "Be free now, pretty bird." Shouldn't she be tweeting, "What the fuck, Dad"?
Dad, cross out mom.
Well, this is Bruce Jenner's daughter, and that's what she's tweeting. Well, she's free now, pretty bird.
She's from the younger generation where they don't.
But it's still your father.
But she still knew him as, yeah, I guess so.
She knew it was coming, too.
Yeah, she probably knew it was coming a long time ago.
She probably met Caitlyn.
Yeah.
She's like, Caitlyn did not look like that when I met her.
When she forgot something at home and had to run back into the house, and there's Caitlyn. Oh, my God.
I wouldn't handle it well. I wouldn't if my dad came back and said, look.
No.
I wouldn't handle that well.
Can you imagine No.
It would take some nerve after everything you've done to put your dad through to not let your dad live out his proclivities.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to see your dad. Like, I keep talking about, what's that, the show, Transparent?
Yeah.
There's some really good. I just hated his fucking kids in that. I have to say it.
Really?
I hated them.
You loved the show, though, huh?
Loved him in the show. It was amazing.
Well, he's got to come back so we could discuss the show.
Oh, the kids were fucking. They're all good actors, but I hated their characters. Selfish. Unbelievably weird. Oh, this one's fucking that one. That one's trans as well. All right, get to the fucking point.
Wait, one of the kids is trans as well?
No, but one of the daughter's gay. The other daughter's doesn't know if she's gay, but she bangs black guys. The son can't. It's like, we get it.
Yeah.
How about you just have a regular family go through this? So you show only. Keep it on point.
Why does everyone have to have some major issue as well?
Because then it takes away from what you're focusing on.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's I think the point you're trying to make there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they have to give everybody something? You have to make them all interesting that way. Whatever. But I'm just trying to think of, like, I liked him so much in that. But they, kids were just awful.
Kim Kardashian, Caitlyn Jenner for Vanity Fair, Annie Leibovitz. How beautiful. Be happy. Be proud. Live life your way. How's that for a Caitlyn tweet?
That sounds like a Starburst commercial.
Yeah. Khloe Kardashian, we were given this life because you were strong enough to live it. I couldn't be prouder.
Well, you sure could.
You think so?
Sure, they can always be prouder.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement in the proud department. Ellen DeGeneres, my hope for the world is that we could all be as brave as Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner looks good for Bruce Jenner. Can we stop acting like this is the hottest woman we've ever seen? It's a brave move.
Right.
Phenomenal. Good for you.
A lot of
And you look pretty
airbrushing.
good for Bruce Jenner.
Yeah. Way better than I thought. He was going to look as a woman.
And better than a lot of 65-year-old women.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, let's stop acting like it's a fucking a spring flower. Okay? No one ever fucking react that way to one of my photo shoots. Oh my God, Jim, you're beautiful.
Well, I was at one of your photo shoots. You had your underpants all the way up to your chest.
That was not one of my better moments.
You make a good point. It also shows what Hollywood could do with the plastic surgery because, we'll get into it in a second, but all the people that Caitlyn Jenner looks like. And that's all because they have a look in Hollywood that you could get if you have enough money.
Yeah.
Where they poof out the lips and give you better cheeks and this and that.
You know what bothers me about all this? It's nothing to do with Bruce Jenner. It's more that somebody does something like this, a celebrity does something, or somebody does this, and then everyone's expected to comment and only positively.
Yes. That's
and
why
it's like fucking like Manchurian candidates where we're all just saying, "Oh, you're beautiful." And it's like, I do think it's a nice thing. I mean, so I don't really have anything shitty to say, but I genuinely don't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, stop penalizing anyone who does. Like, who gives a fuck? If someone doesn't like it, let them not like it.
And she's not Kate Upton.
What do you mean?
In terms of what you were saying before, like being beautiful and
right? Why don't they just stop it?
Yeah,
exactly.
I think you're allowed to show like that you're a little freaked out by this. I have no problem with Drake Bell going, "Sorry, still calling you Bruce." He should be allowed to say that without Twitter and the world attacking the guy.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
even know who this Drake guy is.
well, he's not Drake. He's Drake Bell.
Drake Bell.
Well, I'll say this.
He doesn't want to be confused with the man, Drake.
Right, the sixth god.
Drake Bell.
The sixth god, right.
That's right.
Lena Dunham has the best tweet. I just want Caitlyn Jenner to take me out and teach me how to drive a stick shift in heels. There you go.
That's okay.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Rumor Willis. Okay, Caitlin, as long as you tell me where to get that swimsuit. Wow. Oh,
And by the way, with fucking Lena Dunham, can we stop acting like Lena Dunham is so brave, taking photos topless or whatever because she has an average body? Good
Average?
for you, or whatever.
I wouldn't even call it average.
But good for her. It's
That's
great.
average?
All right, not a great body.
Show the other one. Go back. Go back to the other, the ass shot. Yeah, go back to the, you tell me this is that, it was elsewhere. All right, whatever. You had it, and now you don't have it there.
Just stop already with the fucking, oh my God, it's so brave.
There you go. That's average.
My publicity shot was me in my underwear for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking God almighty, I'm really cranky today.
You are.
Why are you cranky?
Oh no, I just am.
I don't know if you've been sexualized as much as the women of Hollywood.
Not being, that's a good point. I guess it's not that I want to be praised like that because I did things like it's more the idea of the whole country looking one way and going, "Oh my God, that's it's like there's not an ounce of sincerity in any of it."
They demand everyone to act one way, and if you act differently in this country, where we used to have some kind of freedom of speech. My God, they will attack you and try to destroy you. You have a better ass than Lena Dunham, though, Jimmy. I must say.
Did you guys stop flirting around me?
Body on fleek. Body on fleek. Rumor Willis. Body on fleek for Caitlyn Jenner. Maria Shriver, finally free. This made me stop.
Stop what?
I guess doing what she was doing. The feeling of freedom. You go, Caitlyn Jenner.
Eating lunch, and I had to stop.
The women's empowerment space got a brave new voice. Embrace your true self. Tyra Banks. Hi, Caitlyn.
She's trying to say that to the world. Remember me from my show? Remember Tyra Banks? Anyone?
She, I think, could transition into a solid man, though.
Tyra?
Yeah, absolutely. Lance Bass. Well, hello, with a lot of O's. My wish is that everyone is able to live a happy life as their authentic self.
Where's my celebrity tweet in the newspaper? I sent out a warm congratulations.
Did you?
Of course I did.
I saw your tweet.
What, did Chip Chipperson tweet too, or just James Norton? Also known as Jim Norton on the Twitter.
I reported it on the show as breaking news yesterday afternoon as soon as you tweeted it.
Oh, I didn't.
When you're right.
That's it. That's the one. You look at your screen.
Huh?
What's wrong with that?
Oh my God, Jesus, that's a little dramatic. Why didn't they pick that up in the celebrity tweets section?
I'm verified.
He goes, I'm verified. They should have done this. I don't know about you, but I'd fuck Caitlyn. No, Jesus, Jimmy.
I mean, it's simple. It's to the point. We were debating whether or not you would, and then your tweet came through, and we said, okay, we know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't just because of the age. I'm ageist.
I'm
not a homophobe. I'm ageist. Oh, but enough of these fucking twat celebrities. Again, they're all so brave because they're applauding a trans person.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah. Lady Gaga, Caitlyn Jenner, thank you for being a part of all our lives and using your platform to change people's minds.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't think Lady Gaga would be on Caitlyn's side.
Go sing another fucking dull song with Tony Bennett.
You're so mad.
Shooby-dooby-doo! Fuck the both of them.
He's just mad that Gaga's not doing her old stuff that he liked.
I do like Gaga.
I thought you were one of her monsters.
I love her.
Oh,
I think she's awesome.
But you don't like when Mama Monster sings with Tony Bennett?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Pop Bennett. I don't. I think he's fucking awful.
Grandpa Monster.
Had enough of him, too.
John Stamos.
Oh.
Caitlyn Jenner, I'll go wine tasting with you anytime you want.
Wine tasting?
Really? Really, John?
You think John would fuck
fucking
Caitlyn
enough of
Jenner?
these fake cocksucker fucking actors. No, you won't.
Of course you
ever wipe your
wouldn't.
chest off while a tranny's getting dressed? Shut up.
You don't get the respect for being an ally to the trans community. Like
I don't want the respect, but it's just enough of acting like it's so brave to say something. It's just that they're putrid, these people.
Is that why you're so cranky? Because everybody thinks what you thought was cool is cool now?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
He's like, this,
No,
It's like everyone discovered his band.
the trans community is
That's
Jim's
funny.
garage band.
No,
Yeah.
it actually makes my life easier. It's the fact that it's being considered this amazing and brave thing for these people to say it. That's what's annoying. No, I think it's great that everybody's supportive.
And you've been funding this community for years through prostitution.
Well, yeah, but that's never going to be praised. I understand that.
That's called donating, Sam Roberts.
That's right.
That's donations.
I did get something out of that charity work. Oh,
you did?
Yes, I did.
It's like a Kickstarter with benefits.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Miley Cyrus, I love Caitlyn. Barack Obama. We're almost done with the celebrity tweets.
Obama, the president. Took
What
time
a
out of
banal
his day.
tweet he sent out, but at least he said something.
It takes courage to share your story.
What?
Yeah, it's just, again, it's just the banal, the middle of the road fucking.
Well,
I'm
I have to
what
say
do you-
something.
What's the president supposed to say? He shouldn't even comment on it. Who
just nothing.
cares?
The Snookster. Snooki.
What'd he say?
Are you watching the new reality show?
Not even if it was the only thing on TV.
No, with the situation, couples therapy or something like that.
No.
So you have to take a peek just to see what happened to the situation. Something's going wrong with his face.
Oh, no.
And report back to me, please.
He haven't
That's
worked
all.
on, you
That's
think?
all. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he stopped working out. He doesn't look as cut, and his face looks really fucking weird.
Pudgy about the face?
He looks pudgy.
I'll
Yes.
take a look.
You got to take a look and get back to me. Snooki, she tweeted, "I'm obsessed with Caitlyn Jenner. Totally stole the show for me and is the hottest of the family. Work.
She's not the
Hashtag
hottest.
work. WERK.
I mean, you could argue that she's now better looking than Kris Jenner. but
She's-
She's not the hottest of the family.
Caitlyn Jenner is absolutely hotter than Kris Jenner.
Yeah, that's a solid argument.
Yeah, that is true. But not.
But
No.
once you start bringing the daughters in, she's not
yeah.
hotter than Chloe.
No.
No.
Kendall?
Can't forget about it.
No. No.
It's a different level. That's why Kendall's okay with it because, you know.
How would
not
you
touching
handle it
her.
if it was your dad? That's a big.
That's gotta suck. Why can't anyone say that? That's gotta suck. Your dad that you look up to is now, a woman. You're not allowed to say that? That would freak out a lot of people. That I know.
I don't know in their world where everything is so different. It's like,
Right.
even though they're a family, but everything is done for fucking sound bites and press.
And money.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe this is maybe you do look at it
Not-
differently.
Not one person can say that, though. But it's gotta suck. A lot of us would be really freaked out if you woke up and your dad decided to become a woman. They would just be freaked out, but I guess you're not allowed to really say that.
It is a different world when your sister comes home and goes like, "This is my new husband, Kanye West. I'm pregnant." Like it's just a different.
It's a different way of looking at everything, and
Right. But, I mean, everyone thinks about their own, their own lives when something like this happens, and you think about how you would handle it, no?
I don't think I think it'd be very hard.
Yeah, I think it would be very hard, of course.
I don't think I'd handle it well.
I do love that Caitlyn Jenner upstaged Kim Kardashian's announcement yesterday.
Oh boy, did she!
Kim Kardashian thought she had the internet yesterday, and boy, was she wrong.
Oh, with her dumb, I'm pregnant again. What do I care?
There was headlines all over all over the TVs yesterday.
I know.
We didn't touch on it yesterday.
No, everybody had fun jokes too. Southwest.
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 I got it.
Southwest.
Yeah.
I got it.
Let me
Yeah.
say hi to Bill in Jersey. Bill? Oh, wait a minute. Now, try that again. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, how bad must the day be for the actresses that Caitlyn is being compared to? Like Jessica Lange going, holy shit, this is where my life is going?
It's a pretty good comparison, though, because the jaw is the same, the mouth. I'm looking at them side by side. That is a really fucking close face. I mean, really close.
You darken that hair on Jessica Lange, and they look like they're twins. Well, it's funny you should mention that. I mean, I think we all immediately thought, oh my God, Caitlyn Jenner looks like Jessica Lange. The problem is everyone tweeted it as an original thought, like no one else was thinking it.
When I was doing my show yesterday and it was breaking, I was like, you know who she looks like? What's her name from American Horror Story? Jessica Lange. And I thought that I had come up with this great original observation.
Yeah.
And then immediately I went online and I said, no, that was literally the thought everybody had.
Well,
but that means your observation was good then.
I mean, I get, but it's not like
it's a garbage.
It's not good if you add to your tweet, is it just me? Because, no, it's not just you. Everyone thought immediately that Caitlyn Jenner looked like Jessica Lange, if you know who Jessica Lange is.
From American Horror Story.
And then some other people threw in, like, who else they throw in? I forgot now. Renee Russo was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Who else?
Maria Menounos said she looked like Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
But then she said, I think I meant Jessica Lange when I said that.
Oh, okay. Who was the other one? Oh, I have it.
Oh, the whole thing's just a hodgepodge of silliness.
You're right, Jim.
Janice Dickinson.
Yeah.
Janice Dickinson. Gina Davis. Some said Gina Davis. But we have some of the tweets, don't we, Sam?
A couple of them.
Just a couple, just to give you what the people were saying.
This person said, Caitlyn Jenner looks like a younger Jessica Lange. Oh.
Okay.
Somebody said, not sure if it's Jessica Lange or Caitlyn Jenner. Oh.
I'm more annoyed that I didn't notice that.
You didn't at all?
No, when you see them side by side, it's like such an obvious thing, and I just didn't notice that.
Well, then I guess that answers L.A. Minem's tweet. Is it just me, or does Caitlyn Jenner look like Jessica Lange?
Well, it's not just you. I think a lot of people were making that comparison, sir.
Yeah, here's another one with a smiley face after it.
Yeah.
And this one says, is it just me, or does Caitlyn Jenner kind of look like Jessica Lange?
Okay. Well, I'm glad there's only a couple of those that came in yesterday.
Yeah, one from Jamie Elizabeth that says, is it just me, or does Caitlyn Jenner look like Jessica Lange? This one over here says, when I saw Caitlyn Jenner's picture, I thought she was Jessica Lange at first. Hashtag Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay.
This other one, Filmy Baby, says, is it just me? Or does Caitlyn Jenner look a bit like Jessica Lange? Joe Velour wrote, is it just me? Or does Caitlyn Jenner look like Jessica Lange? You didn't see the comparison, Jim?
Didn't notice it at all. Until someone said it, then I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, that would respond to Sophie Olsen's question then.
Yeah. What did Sophie say?
Well, she asked.
Oh, she asked a question. What was the question she asked?
She asked, is it just me, or does Caitlyn Jenner kind of look like Jessica Lange? Did you notice that, Jim?
Once it was pointed out to me.
Who pointed it out to you?
About 400 people. I never would have noticed it.
But you're very observant.
Yeah,
you're usually very observant.
By the way, Annie Leibovitz
pick up on a lot of things.
Annie Leibovitz can take a picture, though. God, there's a real fucking art to taking a photo, and she's good at it.
I guess.
I can't take a picture of anything. No matter what's happening, I ruin the photo. Not even in it. I just take photos that mean nothing.
It's because you don't care about other people.
It's not true.
Oh.
I care about you a lot.
Thank you. It's a test.
Not you.
So if you're Janice Dickinson and everyone's saying, wow, Caitlyn Jenner looks just like me.
Well, that's not what, like, Eve Taylor said.
Oh, what's going on there?
She wrote, is it just me?
Yeah.
Or does Caitlyn Jenner look a lot like Jessica Lange from American Horror Story? So,
well, at least she added from American Horror Story.
Right.
So that tweet's a little different.
As opposed to Maddie Fernandez 7.
Yeah.
She wrote, is it just me? Or does Jessica Lange and Caitlyn Jenner look exactly alike?
I would probably say, like, doesn't she look like the lady from the 77 version of King Kong?
That's smart.
See, it's a little different.
That was a little different. No one had the King Kong reference in their tweet.
What is this, a picture of Caitlyn Jenner or the remake of Cape Fear? Right?
That was good. She was good in that.
She was good.
She's fucking sexy.
Yeah.
If you're Jessica Lange, are you flattered today?
Well,
Come on, let's get into this a second.
How old is Jessica Lange?
About the same age, I would assume.
I think she's older.
Maybe a few years older. But if you're Jessica Lange, are you flattered today? You worked your whole life to kind of work it, as they say, work it, girl. And then Bruce, a couple surgeries, looks exactly like you. Are you flattered? I know she publicly has to say, oh, wow, I'm so flattered that people think Caitlyn Jenner looks just like me. Same age.
66, yeah.
Pretty much same age.
Okay.
And everybody's saying how good what's-her-face looks, Caitlyn looks. But I would say no. She's not flattered whatsoever.
But she can't say that.
She wants to be...
She's somewhere looking at the paper going, what the fuck?
She wants to be like, oh, you know who Gisele Bündchen looks like? Jessica Lange. That's what she would like.
Yeah.
Not like...
Yeah.
Not like, oh, Caitlyn Jenner. Is it just me, or does she look like Jessica Lange?
But there's no honesty. I'm sure they reached out to her by now, and she probably said something like, "Oh, it's kind of flattering that everyone thinks that she looks like me."
She did. She said
she did say something like that.
She said
that's all bullshit.
She said she doesn't check the internet, but she's flattered, and that's very interesting information. She said
she's not flattered.
You don't think so?
No.
No woman wants to be told that Bruce Jenner now looks like you.
Yes.
Hey, you know that like major Olympian from the 70s? Well, now if you put him in a dress, he looks just like you.
He looks just like you.
Yeah.
That's not a compliment to Jessica Lange.
Women don't find that attractive. You're so beautiful. You have eyes like Carl Lewis. What?
Was that if with the is it just me tweets?
No, not even close. Amanda, we go to Brandisha.
Brandisha has probably a lot to say on the Twitter.
One thing she said was, is it just me, or does Caitlyn Jenner look like Jessica Lange from American Horror Story?
It
never ended.
It just goes on and on and on.
Thousands of tweets that literally said, is it just me, or... And then asked if Jessica Lange.
Jillian, she writes, when I saw Caitlyn Jenner's picture, I thought she was Jessica Lange at first.
Oh.
I know I'm late, but Bruce Jenner turned it to Jessica Lange. So.
Yeah, I don't think Jessica Lange is flattered by that. Because she wants to...
Or Janice Dickinson.
No. Because these are all women who...
Or Renee Russo.
No.
They're not flattered that Caitlyn Jenner now looks like them.
Yeah, it's a 65-year-old trans person. Like, if you're a Hollywood actress and you're in your 60s, you'd prefer to be compared to at least a woman in their 40s.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a flattering thing.
No, it's just not.
If anything, I'm sure Caitlyn Jenner was like, oh, that's great. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for Bruce Jenner, it's a great get.
It's great because
that the surgery was so successful that he now looks like Jessica Lange, who used to be a pretty hot sex symbol.
And she's holding up well for 66.
She's aight.
I can't see Bruce Jenner in that photo.
No.
Like, I really can't. Like, I'm looking at it and I can't make that I can't connect that to.
No, not even in the eyes.
Right. I don't know how much photoshopping's been done.
There's a lot of photoshopping. There's a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
You know.
And good lighting and just a great
Good lighting. Let's hide the hands.
Looks like they threw some titties on.
Let's, like those look like full B's he went with, right?
Probably, yeah, smooth them out.
He's a bigger woman, so I bet you they went with the bigger implants.
Maybe.
Yes.
Right.
And the question's out if he's tucking or not in that photo. But his thighs are, pushed tightly together.
I would guess that's a tuck.
That would, to keep everything maybe, behind a little bit.
I would guess that's a tuck.
Yeah. Let's go to the phones. Everyone wants to comment about this. Greg in Philly. Greg.
Hey, boys. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Greg.
Good. Hey, Sam. Way started off strong yesterday, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Hey, before, when he announced this, I always had a thought that it looked like he was trying to become Greta Van Susteren. And Greta Van Susteren was trying to become him, but I think after this little action he got in the doctor's office, I think he might be better looking than Greta Van Susteren.
Oh, my God.
He's way hotter.
Caitlyn Jenner is...
No, she's the most disappointed.
Look,
now she's uglier than a dude.
I'm just going with the pictures, but Caitlyn Jenner is a lot hotter than a lot of the women that are commenting about her.
Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner, I would fuck Caitlyn Jenner before I would fuck Greta Van Susteren.
And Greta Van Susteren could now take the Bruce Jenner face easily, right?
Can she run?
Huh?
Hey, I'm watching out, boys, and I'm all with you, Opie, on the beers. Have a good day.
Oh, thank you, sir. Let's say hi to Brian and Charlotte. Brian.
Hey, you remember when you were a kid, you used to take a picture to the barber, like what you wanted your hair to look like?
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe Bruce did that with a picture of Jessica Lange?
I mean, that's a good question because they're the same age. And maybe somewhere along the way he started thinking, I kind of, when he was putting makeup on himself in the bathroom, he was probably thinking, you know what, I kind of look like Jessica Lange. I'm going to go to my plastic surgeon and see what I could change here to look more like her.
Or did the surgeon say it, or do they have, like the surgeons Do they look at the face and go, I see Jessica Lange, I see, and named a few people, and then maybe, who knows who saw it.
Is it like a tattoo parlor? You go into a plastic surgeon and all the faces are on the wall, and you go, I'll take Jessica Lange with a little Janice Dickinson.
I wonder how many celebrities he had to go through in his head as he was putting makeup on in the mirror. Like, oh, I'd like to look like Cindy Crawford. All right, that's not going to happen, but maybe I could look like, I don't know. I think I could pull up Jessica Lange.
I like where you're going, but, I mean, everyone is vain, so he probably said, I think I could look like Kate Upton. Yeah. He probably started with the young ones and then started having to move his age up.
Yeah. And then the doctor was like, the best we can do is Jessica Lange. All right, I'll take it,
Jessica Lange.
Can't wait to see you in Charlotte, Jimmy.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, that's
tickets on sale this morning at 10.
Beautiful. Let's say hi to Phil in Brooklyn. Phil,
why are you mad at 10?
Yo, morning, gentlemen.
Are you mad at 10?
It's just, why don't they stop at a 10 o'clock fucking on sale?
What's wrong?
Because I'm on the air now. Why don't they just say it so people can order tickets?
Oh, then they're at work and they're at their computer.
It's a computer. You hit the button. Bought. What happens at 10?
He's mad at 10 a.m.
You're so ornery this morning.
Right.
Yes, I am.
You can't be mad at the hour of
people
10
are at
o'clock.
work. They're in front of their computers. They can order tickets.
Yeah.
At 10.
What happens at 9 that you can't do it?
Because they might not be at work yet.
You're still running into your workplace.
Why isn't it capable?
All the latecomers are at work by 10.
But why can't they buy it?
The ticket people want everyone to settle down at their job, and they have their Starbucks, and they're ready for action. They get a little work done, and then they're ready for their first break by 10 o'clock.
Everybody in Charlotte is still commuting at 9.
So what? So if they want to buy one, jump a little ahead of the curve.
Why are you ornery? Are you going to share?
There's really no reason.
He's very ornery.
I think I'm probably a little overtired.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired.
Phil in Brooklyn, what do you got?
Well, good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
All right, Phil.
Hey, listen, I got 3 words to start this off with, but what the fuck? Enough already. I understand that, there's transgender people. I understand there's gay people, but it's just enough with the proverbial, and I can't think of another term other than shoving it down my throat every day. He's a man. You could take a pile of shit and cover it with gold and be like, oh my God, that's just so beautiful, but it's still a pile of shit.
That's probably not the comparison that Bruce Jenner would care for.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you, dude. I know what you're saying, and I know why. It's like there's this whole debate, like you're a guy, and just because you say you're a girl, you're not a girl. But then there's the medical.
Even from a child's aspect. How do you explain this to kids growing up? When we
just explained it. Enough with the how do you explain things to kids? Sit the little fucking burden down and tell them. That's how you do it.
Tell them what?
Whatever.
Don't you think it causes confusion, Jimmy? Seriously?
Maybe, but so what?
I'm a parent of 2. I'm not even worried in the least to how to explain this to kids.
Yeah.
You just explain stuff to kids. They can figure shit out.
When we were younger, it was all.
We were isolated scumbags. That was the problem. No one talked about anything when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Yes, but now
I didn't even know what the fuck gay was until I was in college.
Constantly thrown at you and smashed in your face every day on Twitter, on social media.
But in the end, who does it hurt? Who cares? I don't care if Bruce Jenner became a woman in the end. I'm trying to get a little edgy and come up with a few jokes today, but in the end, I don't give a fuck.
All right.
And to your point, enough already. I would agree with you if I don't know, a month from now we're still on topic like we are today. Then it's enough already. But it's been leading up to yesterday where we get to see the first picture, so it's not enough already.
Yeah, dude, you don't understand why
this is the finale of the whole thing that's been kind of building for years.
You don't understand, dude. You don't understand.
It's not even a finale. We don't even know. If the surgery's happening, it's just
hold on.
Constant tease.
You don't understand why people are interested in fucking the decathlon winner becoming a woman. Like, I get pop cultures, dude. I don't watch the Kardashians. It fucking stinks. I don't care about any of these reality shows. I don't enjoy them. They're boring.
Sam, tell him he's missing a lot.
They're terrible. They're missing fucking terrible. And the reality show stars are mostly idiots. But this one, how do you not understand why people are at least curious about it?
Oh, yeah, curiosity is one thing, but like you've been saying, in a month from now it's going to be annoying, but it's all we've heard of from God knows how long now, and we get, like today or yesterday, the pictures came out, and now there's still questions. Did he get the surgery? It's just a constant cock tease, excuse the pun, but, you don't even know if he's had the surgery or, there's so many unanswered questions. Why not just say, look, this is what the fuck's going on. This is what I decided to do.
and just shut the fuck up about it already. You know, move on and go live your life as Caitlyn or Bruce or whatever the fuck you want to be this week, and just enough already. But I mean, don't you think it's just tiresome mentally and you know, it's just a constant ringing in your ears every single day about the same shit?
Some of it is. I got other shit to worry about. I'm not tired of any of this stuff. Because you can, in the end, just turn it off. You can turn off this show. You can turn off your Twitter. You can turn off the TV.
Oh, no, I love you guys. I mean, listen, ever since the transition opened, you're like a different person, man. You seem more happy and upbeat and more in tune with the show. And Jimmy, Jesus Christ, man, you have got me through so many shitty days with your wild sense of humor.
Well, thank you, sir.
Awesome.
I'm the same as I've always been, but thank you.
I love you guys, man. And fucking thanks.
Thank you, Phil in Brooklyn. I appreciate it.
Bye, Phil.
You got it. Bro.
All right. But, you know, I mean, there's a big story for the people out there. Let's say hi to Cody in North Carolina. Cody.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So, I got another take on this maybe, and I guess it goes back to, like, personal freedoms. Like, we're all celebrating this shit because somebody decided to do something that would make them happy. So what's the difference of a guy going from the hormone route of this thing? You know, everybody's on the shows always talking about losing weight or getting more fit, like in your late 30s, 40s, et cetera. So what's the difference if a guy takes steroids, you know, a cycle or two to maybe get that peak fitness that he wants to get and look better and feel better about himself than a man or a woman who has to take a massive fucking amount of hormones to make this transformation? I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not exactly sure the hormone route or how much.
What do you mean? What's the difference? I'm not sure what you're asking.
Yeah.
Well, so example. So Jim's always looking out for his fitness and wants to get fit. Hey, we're all getting older. I'm in my late 30s, and this shit is tough. So if I want to, it is literally illegal for me to hop on a cycle to maybe break through that wall I'm trying to break through, you know, lose that last 10 pounds of fat, etc. Like, we'd be looked at as criminals, even if we're not sports stars, to take a cycle of fucking steroids, which is just hormone therapy. Whereas if you're transgender, I can't even imagine the amount of hormones it takes for a woman to grow a beard or for a man to like round out all those edges with.
I gotcha. So basically, if you're going to transition into a woman, you should not be allowed to take any hormones. Keep it fair for everybody.
Well, yeah,
keep it fair for everybody.
I'm trying to see exactly where the line is drawn. Like how does a medical doctor okay that amount of hormone therapy for what's basically your choice on how you want to look?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, if I went into the doctor, I was like, hey, check my blood, check my liver, make sure I'm healthy, you know, to make me happy, for me to be happy about my own personal appearance, which is all this really is. I want to identify as
most people don't commit suicide because they're depressed over not being in shape. Whereas transgender people, really, there's a lot of suicides and stuff. That's a fucking rough way to go, man.
But I sort of see his point. You know, if you feel like steroids is going to make you a happier person, you know, but that is completely, you know, illegal in most cases.
They'll prescribe steroid stuff if they think you need it for something.
Yeah.
But your point is probably like, why do they think that Bruce Jenner needs it to become a woman when he just wants to become a woman? But the medical community would say, no, it's not like you're a guy who goes, I want to be a girl today. They said it goes a lot farther than that in you know, you know what I mean? I know what you're saying, but I think it's different.
Well, there's a lot of psychological testing you got to go through and physical testing, all that stuff. It's not like Bruce Jenner goes, I want to be a woman, and they just started, you know, injecting him with hormones and stuff. He had to go through all sorts of things. He's been thinking about this for years and going through it in smaller stages.
Yeah, dude, he was doing this in the 80s. I think after 30 or 40 years, it goes beyond like a passing fad.
And he's been probably talking about this for years and getting, well, in the last few years, getting ready for this moment.
Right.
So it wasn't a quick thing.
It is ballsy though, like in the sense that to come out and like, even though you know, like, yeah, there's so much fake, you know, oh good, no matter what you think, people are just gonna go, you go, girl, you know, people's fake positivity. But it is kind of to come out like that, like totally. It's gonna be a very scary moment.
Oh my God!
Step out like this.
Imagine,
especially when you're that famous for looking a certain way all those years. You know.
Yes.
I guess the double standard is I think, like, just we'll take Jim for example. You know, Jim's working on his physique. If 6 months from now he had like a before and after picture where he went from like, you know, today Jim Norton to like Wolverine Hugh Jackman Jim Norton, he's like, hey, fuck it, I took steroids. I was tired of doing it the natural way. I feel better with this body type. It fits me inside the way I want to look. So I took a cycle of steroids for 6 months. People were like, oh, how could you?
But aren't they prescribed for I guess trans people? Like, you don't just take them. Don't you be prescribed?
I'm sure
they are.
I'm sure there's people taking hormones illegally as well as how they do steroids.
Right. So they find if they find medically you need to take them to do this, and they feel that this is legitimate, they put you on it.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Fair enough.
It's funny. I should probably know that from. I don't.
Yeah.
What scares me is how easy it is to become a woman. Right? It seems like they're starting to get that down.
I don't know if it's easy, but it's effective.
Easy meaning you
you can actually pull it off.
Thank you. That's right.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys. Good show.
Okay,
right,
yeah. Some are very very lovely.
One more call. I mean, the phones are lit, but one more for now, and then we'll take a break. Clint in Kansas. Clint.
Yeah, she may look like Jessica Lange, but she still drives like Lindsay Lohan. I mean, it seems like 4 months ago,
What happened?
did kill a person. But
Hello,
Clint?
your phone's messed up, buddy. What did you say? You came on and you said Jessica Lange, and then your phone crapped out.
You want to say she looks just like Jessica Lange, I guess, or
yeah, but she drives like Lindsay Lohan.
hello?
She looks like Jessica Lange.
Still
Talk
getting-
slower, dude. 'Cause I think what happens is you're overmodulating and your phone is crapping us out. What did you? I apologize. What did you say? Hello?
No, he bailed.
Did you like my overmodulating?
He bailed. We had him too. We got greedy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get greedy. We had him.
Well, you got to get him to do it 3 or 4 times.
I know, but we got a little greedy. You never know. He's 65. Why is his name Caitlin? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Why the name Caitlin? Did he explain that? I didn't bother reading any of the articles.
Not that I said, but some people are going so deep as to say that he's spelling Caitlyn with a C.
Yeah, to get back at the Kardashians.
Yeah, which is a little much, but
At the Kardashians.
They all have
everybody
K
has
names.
K. Chris, Chloe, Kyle.
Jimmy, you should know this.
Kendall.
Why don't you know this?
Kim.
I have no problem with the. I really don't. They're utterly irrelevant to me. Like I don't. There's nothing they do that.
But you should know they all have a name that starts with the letter K. It's their thing.
I wouldn't know that if they were standing outside burning a cross. It means nothing to me. But again, I don't give a. I don't.
So a lot of people saying, "Wow, he did that on purpose," because he could have easily been Caitlyn with a K.
So silly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he.
It's just the name he likes. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't pick that to throw a jab at the Kardashians. Your whole life built up, and you become a woman, or you know whatever you transition to.
What would be your girl name?
Jim. I don't know. That's a really. I can't picture myself as a woman. I can't even fantasize about it. I don't know.
Sam, what would be your girl name?
I guess Wanda.
Why wouldn't you just go Samantha?
I would no, because I'd be a different person.
Not much different.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't think I have a girl name.
You came up with that real quick.
Wanda?
Yeah.
You showed me a lot of Wandas.
Gregoria would be your name.
No, Opeta. We already.
Opeta, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a pretty.
Travis, what's your girl
I have
name?
no idea.
If you were going to transition.
I don't know.
Mittens?
That's my cat's name.
Oh, that's funny. Mittens Teft. Hi, Mittens Teft
We
is
already
here
have one.
to service you.
That's right.
Service your prick.
Is that what I do? I service?
You service your
French for
prick. Yes, you have a good service mouth. Submissive women like it when you tell them that. They have a good service mouth.
They like that?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that before?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. We got, well, let's get Jeff on the line from Michigan. Jeff, go ahead.
Jeff with a J or G-E-O?
Yeah,
Worst
is it
question
just
ever.
me? Is it just me, or who gives a fuck?
Well,
It's interesting, dude.
it's a huge story, though.
People say they don't care, and pop culture, I normally agree because I don't follow so much of it. But this one, it's like, how do you not care?
You can't avoid this one.
Yeah, and how do you not find this at least a little interesting?
Yeah.
I don't.
All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough to Jeff in Michigan.
Boo. Sorry.
What would you
Yeah,
want?
what's more
What should
interesting?
we talk about right
I saw a documentary
now?
last night I planned on talking about, but it's like,
Which one did you see?
Cannibal Cop.
Cannibal Cop.
Uh-huh. About Gilbert Valet or whatever, the cop in New York who had all those cannibal fantasies.
Oh, right. That's
Convicted,
a recent story.
Oh, it's still happening.
He's still on trial or whatever.
Well, yeah. Kind of. He's going back on trial, I think.
Going back on trial.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Amazing. And it's all about thought policing and not being politically correct. I mean, this was legally with it. It's just, I'll talk about it after the break, maybe. It's very, very good. And now the case is still happening. People should pay attention to this one because it's really fucking, where does the line of fantasy and I'm being a pig online end? and no, you're actually conspiring to commit a kidnapping and a murder.
Because he never committed cannibalism.
No, not even close.
Yeah, I know.
Not even close. But he did take more actions than just talking about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't the guy that he was conspiring with get arrested?
In England, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I understand that kind of fantasy. That cannibal shit does nothing for me. But I really think that he probably would have done nothing. We'll talk about it after. It's too involved. But I'm watching this thing and I'm really understanding how you can fantasize about such crazy things sexually, knowing you're never going to do them. And they were using things against him. And I'm like, fuck, I've said stuff like that. But I know exactly what I mean when I'm saying it. And I know exactly why I'm saying it. Really weird.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about it more after the break.
Yeah, and I know people are going to be Twitter. You relate to the cannibal cop? No. I don't want to eat girls.
The one who looked like Adam Ferrara, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Why don't you want to eat girls?
Well, I mean, not in the, but in the, I like to go the, but I don't like to go the, that's a bizarre thing. The shit he would write about his wife. It was chilling shit. Chilling.
Well, you just trumped what I saw last night.
What did you see?
An SNL documentary. You know those guys didn't get a lot of sleep when they were preparing for that show?
I hear it's a tough grind.
Did you watch Saturday Night?
Huh?
Saturday Night?
Yeah, the new documentary.
The James Franco one?
Well, there's some James Franco in the one I'm seeing.
Oh, which one did you watch?
I don't know, something that Roland just threw my way. I got like 20 minutes left.
Oh.
It's a documentary on SNL. Yeah, a lot of old footage.
Yeah, that's the James Franco documentary.
They show James Franco at a table reading.
Yeah, that's him.
But do they get more into the James Franco thing?
No, he did the documentary.
Oh, so he just put himself in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, he did it in 2008 for an NYU school project.
He's sexy as hell.
I don't know. Is it the same thing? This looks like it's more recent than 2008.
Is it all with like Bill Hader and is John Malkovich the
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Then that must be a different one.
Oh, you've got to watch the James Franco one.
I'm watching the one with Chevy Chase and Bill Murray and Jane Curtin.
Oh, Live from New York?
I guess that's what it's called. The point is, it's boring compared to the documentary Jimmy saw last night.
You should watch the other one.
The James Franco one.
It's incredible.
And where do I find that?
It's on YouTube.
Why isn't it anywhere else?
It was on.
No one cared about it?
Well, no, it was on Hulu last year.
Yeah.
He filmed it in 2008. The short story is that for his NYU school project, he had to follow somebody around. So he followed Bill Hader around because he had just hosted Saturday Night Live. And
Bill the Hader.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
It's with a D.
He ended up filming so much behind the scenes of SNL that he decided to turn it into a documentary. And it didn't come out until 2014 because there was so many different legal channels to go through at NBC. And then NBC was sold to Comcast, and then they had issues with it. And they finally put it out last year, but they just threw it up on Hulu for the 40th anniversary.
That's what you want, a documentary that the network approves of. It's good.
Yeah.
Everybody in his class must have hated him.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, everybody's got to follow somebody around. Oh, I guess I'll just follow around my friend Bill Hader.
Yeah, because I just hosted SNL.
Yeah, I was going to follow my aunt.
Yeah, how do
Thanks,
you compete
James
with
Franco.
that if you're in the same class?
But it's really good. It's like
at first you're thinking, wow, I'm in a class with James Franco, but then look what he does to you in the end.
Yeah,
he's like fucks you over.
He's an overachiever.
Well, no, that is definitely not the documentary I'm watching, and now I'm going to watch that.
It's 1 week behind the scenes of SNL with John Malkovich hosting, and it shows you everything that goes into making the show.
No kidding.
It'll give you a whole new level of respect for everything that the writers do and the actors do and the hosts do. It's incredible.
Does everyone look tired?
Yeah, they don't sleep. Those writers just live in their offices.
I've heard rumors they don't sleep all
writing
week.
at like 3 a.m. Like they're just completely loopy and just trying to think of 50 different sketches to bring to the pitch meeting.
So while Jim was learning about the Cannibal Cop and free speech versus free thought and blah blah blah, you, Opie, found out that sometimes the SNL people have to go without sleep.
And that every once in a while they say something that is very controversial. And that, mainstream media picks up on it. And then there's like a whole thing that happens and they have to deal with that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I learned that too.
Surprised you could go to sleep without getting through that last 20 minutes.
Yeah. That's about all I learned.
Wow.
Yep. And they had some good Tom Schneider footage. Remember Tom Schneider?
I do. Very famous Kiss interview.
Oh, that's right. He did do a very famous Kiss interview. He had Lorne Michaels and the original cast on his show before the show hit. So you're looking at Bill Murray and Belushi and Gil Radner and Chevy Chase and the rest of them, and Tom Schneider had no idea who these people were. No one did.
Right, there was,
and he knew who Lorne Michaels was already because he was a producer. He got around, so he was just talking to Lorne Michaels as these future superstars are sitting down for the interview as well, and you can see they're all nervous. They're not really used to the spotlight yet, and all that. It was pretty cool. So. We should take a break.
Is Chris here yet?
Yes.
Chris is going to join the show next. We got Ben Mesrick. He's a great author. God, this guy has book after book. And Travis, this book is doing well already, huh?
Yeah, it was already optioned for a movie.
He was the guy who did Bringing Down the House.
And the Facebook.
Ben Mesrick and the Facebook and the Facebook movie. Once Upon a Time in Russia is the name of his latest book.
It's another true story.
And he's going to be on in about an hour.
Oh, I have an announcement, too, besides not about my tickets. Speaking of books.
Yes.
Colin Quinn has a book coming out called The Coloring Book, which is him dealing with race, I think. So Tuesday the 9th, I am hosting a Colin Quinn event at Barnes & Noble here in the city. I'll get you the details, but I imagine that will be packed.
Yes.
Colin's first book. So we're doing like a Q&A or an interview for 45 minutes. I imagine it'll be a lot of fun on a stage of some sort.
A comedian solves race relations in America.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's very funny. So next Tuesday the 9th at 7 p.m. at one of the Barnes & Noble. I know that doesn't help, but I will let you know which one as soon as I get it.
Is he coming in to promote the coloring book?
I'm guessing he is.
I sure hope so, Colin Quinn.
Square. Oh, thank you, Kenny. The Union Square Barnes & Noble, which is a great one. There's plenty of room for everyone there. That's a big one.
He's coming in next week.
Oh, he is? Okay, yeah. I haven't even read the book. So Colin listens to the show. How about you get me a copy of the book? When I asked him to write the foreword for fucking Happy Endings, he ridiculed me. His opening line was, Jim Norton is an ass. And he wasn't wrong, because I didn't give him the book. But how about you give me the book now so I can look at it?
Roland says they're sending copies.
How about they send a copy fucking fast? How about we don't just get it like every other schnook? How about you throw it in the mail, fucking CQ, quickly?
That's right.
Jimmy's mad at a lot of things today.
That's right. I want my copy of the book.
Let's keep track. He's
fresh.
He's mad at 10 o'clock.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. start time.
And he's mad at coloring books, I think.
He's mad at celebrities.
He's mad at pop culture.
Yeah.
A little bit. Annoyed at pop culture, I'd say.
Annoyed at pop culture.
Yeah, annoyed at it.
Joe Benigno. How do you say his name? Benigno?
It's a very hard name. Beningo. It's a hard name.
But there's an N there.
I know. Benigno. It's a weird name. It's Beningo.
So,
240 on the fan.
Did you hear his audio yesterday?
No, I heard about it.
It's pretty good. Well, we'll do that after the break. And then, let's see. Caitlyn Jenner says Bruce lived a lie and she's finally free in Vanity Fair video. Oh, Vanity. Okay, so there's a Vanity Fair video. We should probably play that. We should do a little more on this after we talk about the documentary, of course. Neil Cavuto mocks Caitlyn Jenner. We should maybe get into that a little bit. And then you got Fox News. Steve Ducey says kindergartners shouldn't be exposed to transsexuals and stuff. Oh, that's gross. During debate over teaching sex ed to 4-year-olds.
Is he the guy with the...
He's the one on the left. He's a douche.
But why is he such a fucking tool?
He's just an idiot. The one on the right we've had on, Kill Meat, he's pretty cool. Ducey's a goofball.
If you think any kid shouldn't be taught certain things in sex ed, you're just a dope.
You just have an open conversation. It's not easy, but you just have an open conversation with your kids. Because in the end, they don't give a fuck. They want to get back to their fucking Legos. They don't care. They really don't. You explain a little bit, they're like, oh, okay, but know what's more important to me right now is this Batman Lego thing we're trying to put together.
I get that.
Chris DiStefano will join the show next. Stay there.
This is Opie Radio.
Chris DiStefano in studio. It's been a while, Chris.
I'm here.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, my friend.
We're talking about Caitlyn Jenner.
She's a piece.
She's a piece?
I think so.
No.
Great rack.
No. Great rack?
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. I mean, I noticed tits right away, so I said, she's got nice tits, and I see, like everyone says, she looks like Jessica Lange. I thought that instantly.
Oh, wow. Look at the boobs on that shot. I didn't see it with the, what is that, a bustier? A bustier? That's
well, you know.
See, you're a bit younger than me, sir. Us older guys look at this a little differently, just because we remember him as the greatest athlete in America. And I made the comparison a little earlier today to you younger guys. Just imagine 20 years goes by, and now LeBron James is on the cover of Vanity Fair as a chick.
See,
wouldn't that blow your mind a little bit?
That would absolutely blow my mind. But you're right.
And you're sitting there going, well, that's ridiculous, Opie. It's not ridiculous because where I come from, this was a man's man winning a gold medal for America.
Well, I mean, see, it's like he said, though, that he was like, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he wanted to become like a woman.
Yeah.
Right. And now he just officially did it. So,
yes.
I mean, when I first saw him on, I guess it was the Kardashian show, I mean, he kind of looked like a woman. He looked like one of my mom's friends, Peggy. There's this woman, Peggy. If you guys look on my Facebook, one of my mom's friends, Peggy, and I hope you're okay with me saying this, Peggy, but you look like the male version of Bruce Jenner.
Okay. Peggy, good old Peggy. Well, we all made the jokes that, Bruce Jenner looked like an older lesbian.
Sure.
So, yeah, this has been going on a long time.
Yeah, well, just Peggy's now. Peggy's is straight. She has 3 kids.
Where is Peggy? I gotta say Peggy now.
Peggy, she works at the Stop and Shop on Myrtle Avenue in Ridgewood, New York. She's good old Peggy. She's been managing there for probably 15 years.
And there's a picture of her on the Facebook page?
Actually, no. You know what? I don't know if there is. I thought maybe there is. Maybe on my mom's Facebook.
Who's Peggy?
Peggy is one of my mom's good friends who looks like Bruce Jenner from like the late 80s, Bruce Jenner. Okay. And she's not a lesbian, but she just, I always said that. Like, as soon as I saw Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I was like, Ma, their husband looks like Peggy. And she was like, oh, she does.
Really?
He does.
Did you not know who he was? How old are you?
I'm 30. I had no idea who he was. Yeah. They were like, oh, he's on the Wheaties box. I was like, I have no clue.
He was massively famous.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I knew that he was.
I mean, who was he competing against in 1976 for the greatest athlete? I'm trying to think. Who was around in 76 that would compete with him? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, maybe?
Chamberlain?
Oh, he was that famous? I thought he was.
He was ridiculously famous.
Yeah.
That was also a time where everyone watched the Olympics because there was only 3 channels, 4 channels. So you really watched the Olympics because there was nothing else on.
So he was famous, like how Michael Phelps was Michael Phelps was the most famous Olympian that I can remember who took over, but now he's not as famous. Where Bruce Jenner's just stayed famous. That's how good he was.
He stayed famous his entire life. Yeah.
Wow.
Because he had a clean image. He was a spokesman. And back then again, if you were a big on one channel, you were famous. Bruce Jenner was a very he's just an iconic guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think she has a great rack. She looks like she has nice legs. I know it's a guy on the inside, but I don't know. I mean, she's pretty hot. For an older woman.
Those are good legs. His name's Michael, like yours. Here's the Q&A. Nick Nolte.
Jimmy loves Q&A.
Yeah.
I got to watch that again so I get all the references.
There's a very sexy tranny in it, Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte's one of those guys who likes to fuck trans girls, but he doesn't know it. Like, he's angry about it, so he chokes them, because he just can't handle it. He's a dirty cop. And the one on the end, I forget her real name. She died a while. I looked her up, actually. I was curious to what happened to her. And she's dead, unfortunately. But, yeah, like Nick was talking to her, and he's like, "Who's that one? That guy in the end had nice legs." And she's like, "His name's Michael, like yours." That's very funny because his name is Mike Brennan.
I gotta watch that.
Oh, Q&A is the shit.
Yeah, Jimmy references it too much. I really gotta know this shit.
Nick DiPaolo's never seen that either. I'm like, would you? How many Q&A references can I do before you fucking watch it?
Yes. Yeah. Jimmy, speaking of cops, Jimmy watched the documentary last night on Cannibal Cop.
Gilbert Vale?
Can you believe Gil Vale? I'm sorry to cut you off, Jim, but you just Gil Vale. This one was probably definitely on my Facebook. Graduating class was in my homeroom in high school. Archbishop Malloy High School sat next to me every fucking day.
You know this guy?
Know him. We took Christian marriage together. Where I went to an all boy Catholic high school, so we were in Christian marriage class senior year, Archbishop Malloy High School, fucking 2002. You have to babysit an egg. This is real. I'm not. You have to babysit an egg, and that's like your project for 8 weeks. You have to basically take care of a child, which is an egg. And all boys would have to be me and another guy. Gil was my partner. Every fucking week, this kid wanted to crack the egg. Every week wanted to crack the egg and probably fucking scramble it. It's like I can't.
Then eat it.
When I saw this shit happen, when this happened, my phone blew up. I'm on a group chat with like 10 of my friends from high school. This guy's face all over. Can you believe Gil?
Wow.
Never taught. He was on the high school baseball team. Good kid, nice kid. You would never think that he was a lunatic. You really wouldn't.
But he wanted to crack the egg. That's a little strange.
But I only thought about that
after. Okay.
It was hilarious that he wanted to keep breaking the egg.
He was probably lazy. He didn't want to carry it around, so just get rid of it.
Yeah. To high school.
So who had to play the mommy?
I was mommy. I think was I the mommy?
Did they make one of you guys be the mommy?
I'm trying to think who was.
Because it's an all-boys school and it's marriage classes.
I was
and you teamed up with another guy, so someone had to be mommy.
I think I was probably most likely. I think if anything, I would probably have been mommy because 2002. You know what happened in 2002? I fucking 9/11 had just happened, so I fucking lost my shit in the middle of high school. That when that happened, and I started like crying and stuff because I was just I was nervous. So of course, all boy Catholic high school, that doesn't go away easily, even though it was a big tragedy. They were like, "You fucking bitch."
It was 9/11 though.
They don't come on to Pat Finnegan from Woodside, Queens. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, "You fucking pussy. You're a pussy. Put the egg in your ass."
It's 9/11 though.
Yeah, but they don't care. Pat Finnegan still hasn't let that shit go. He's definitely listening right now. Yeah. He's a fireman.
All right.
I hope you trip.
But Jimmy watched the documentary. I can't believe you actually know this.
That's crazy that you had me in today.
So interesting. Yeah. I just randomly watched it last night. It was fucking.
It's on HBO.
His fantasies. Yeah, he's called the Cannibal Cop. If anyone doesn't know, because he had all these graphic online fantasies about cutting women up and eating them, and his wife would be asleep in the next room, and he would be like, "I can't believe she's sleeping." He's on these online chats with these guys from like England.
Right.
I can't wait to. I wish I could make her suffer. I'd like to slit her throat, hang her upside down, like really fucking graphic shit.
Do you think he really would have done it?
No, like I don't know. Because he went like, the question was like his wife turned him in. Like she suspected something, so she put a keystroke logger on the computer and found this other email that he had, and dummy used the same password for this one that he did for all his other stuff. And she found photos of her friends and all these people who he said that he was going to kidnap and eat and roast. And he used the police computer to look up fucking information about these girls.
Right.
So they got him on conspiracy to commit these acts because they're like, he took steps beyond fantasy. But I don't know. I think part of it was that so much of that was just part of the fantasy. Even though it sounds sick and crazy, you're just doing that to like you're not going to really do it. Because they said like they got a bunch of chats, and in one of the chats the guy said like, "Is this real or fantasy?" He's like, "This is real. This is fantasy. None of it's real. Right. I wouldn't do any of this stuff." But then another time a guy asked him, and he goes, "Well, yeah, if I get away with it." The guy was like, "Would you do it?" He goes, "Absolutely, in a second." But part of me thinks that like I've fantasized about morbid shit before. Never this, but like. With one woman, I would fantasize a little bit about killing her husband with her. And it was one of those things where you would never, it was something I never considered for real. Like under any circumstances would I have done it.
Were you writing back and forth to her?
Yeah. But it was just the idea that she would talk about something so dirty that turned me on. Like, oh my God, she's so fucking deviant. And if she had said, "Are you kidding?" I would have wrote no. Because that breaks the fantasy. Like, you don't want to break the fucking fantasy by going, "Yes, it's almost like if you're spanking a girl.
Right.
Do you really want the girl to look at you and go, "Oh, look, all kidding aside, do you like me?" Ugh. Yes, stupid. This is dirty.
His wife, that I remember reading about that too. It's like, what a cunt. Like, I understand, like, don't rat out your husband. Like, take care of that shit at home. You want to divorce him. But now you just ruin your kid's life.
Well, she thought he was going to kill her.
Yeah, but maybe she really thought that her life was in danger.
He has a gun. He's a cop, and she thought like he's looking at pictures of her friends. No, I think that I got why she turned him in.
Oh yeah,
she was fucking terrified.
Watch it.
And they went down to like his friends from college. There was like girls he knew. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to visit this girl, and then I'm going to do recon." And then he's like, "Yeah, I went and saw her," and he actually had gone and seen the girl, but he went with his wife and they had lunch. So I think he was just doing this banal shit, and he was fucking making it part of his fantasy life just to fucking have something to jerk off to.
Well, one of the girls who was on his list or whatever is a friend of ours. You know, she grew up in the neighborhood. She went to the Archbishop Malloy was the all-boy high school, and then there was Mary Lewis, which is the all-girl high school, so everybody would, fuck from those high schools and hang out together. So one of the girls was on his list, and she's actually a cop herself, and her parents are detectives. Like, this girl's a no bullshit kind of girl. And when all this shit happened, we were all hanging out at a bar, and he said, did you ever feel like in danger? Because he met up with her, and he had met up with her multiple times, and she was like, no. She was like, and he had told me, like, he was married and he was into weird shit and fantasies and knew about that. She was like, but I never felt like he was actually going to kill me and eat me. I didn't think that. But maybe, this girl also had a gun too and was a cop and could probably beat the shit out of him. But so from some of these victims, I say that they didn't feel that. And I don't know how he went from being in almost life in prison to out. How did that happen quick?
Well, the documentary explained he's still in trouble. He had gotten the conspiracy charge. It's not 100% like he didn't do anything. He used police computers to access information he shouldn't have. He absolutely can't be a cop, and he should have some kind of a criminal penalty because that's a fucking dirty breach of trust. Yeah. And they call it conspiracy because he took steps beyond fantasy. But it was like, did he take steps that were legitimate? And as a pervert, I don't know. I've never taken steps like that, but I can understand the discussions. Even though, again, cannibalism does nothing for me. It's just ridiculous. But, like, talking about, like, let's do this and let's do that. You're just upping the ante every time. And you don't want to break it by going, yes, it's a fantasy. Even though you both have the understanding. Again, it's like when you're in bondage. Like, if you cuff a girl to the bed and she's like, and there's a safe word. And she's like, I want you to fuck me and I want you to not listen to me say no. The word yellow is your safe word. So the whole fantasy is there, and you're not listening to her, and you're spanking her, or you're pulling her hair, because you know that the safe word exists. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what this is, in a way. Like, that the safe word is actually, you're just not going to go out and fucking do it. But you don't want to break it when someone goes, is this real?
Right.
Ugh.
Problem is
we're online. You're in England.
The problem is to, explain all that away.
And listening to the juror talk, they had a juror talk, and when you listen to her talk, like, the jurors weren't cunts. Like, I get why people were fucking freaked out by this and why they're like, this guy's crazy. But but again, I'm a dirtbag and I'm a perv and I've had these crazy fantasies with people. So I know what was in where I would have gone at that moment. And my stuff has gone way beyond, I'm going to spank you. I've talked with. And again, it's been many years since I talked to this woman because I think I freaked her out. But she started mentioning it to me. But as far as what I've ever done it would never have occurred to me to do.
But it's in the back of the juror's head.
Yeah.
Like, what if he really did mean to do this stuff, even though they're explaining it away, that it's just a fantasy world that he lives in? But the juror's got to be thinking, man, but what if not? What if he really what if he really was going to, take it to the next step or the next level and move from fantasy to reality?
Would they have done it? I don't know.
That's a tough call for a juror is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you say, like, well, I don't want to be responsible for this guy doing something. But, and he did have to, there's a lot of stuff in there, man. Like, you watch it and it's like, how much of it is just perversion and like what? Because he said he has a big oven to cook them in.
Right.
Like, I don't understand the whole fucking.
Did he have a big oven?
No.
I
don't. He did not have the big oven.
Well, yes, you were the mommy. I mean,
No, he didn't.
Did you guys have a big oven when you were
we had no ovens. Not even an easy bake oven. Nothing. No ovens. He sent me a message. He wants to come to one of my shows. We should have him.
I'd love to interview him, even though he's back on trial.
Oh, he can still go back to prison because our friends like Pat Finnegan, I'll mention him again. When we talked about this, was like he's going because Pat's a firefighter and he was a cop. He said he's going away for life or at least 25 years, and that's what we thought. And then all of a sudden, I see him on Facebook. I'm like, this guy's out of jail?
What happened was, it's a very, very rare that a judge will do this. But they filed an appeal to have the conviction or whatever overturned or whatever. And the judge went against the jury and released him because he felt he was convicted without the proper evidence. And I think the judge was right to do it. It's a very ballsy move for a judge to do. Because if this guy goes out and does something, that judge has really taken a big risk. And he overrode the jury.
Damn.
But now, of course, and they gave him time served for the breach of trust using police computers. But then the state, the day it was about to expire, filed an appeal because they have the right to file an appeal, and they're going to retry him.
How long was he in jail?
Or his appeal. Oh, he did 20 months. But they're going to file like not an appeal, but an appeal on the judge's verdict. So it's not retrying him. It's just an appeal.
So he could still do time again.
Oh, he can still go right back. But I don't think he should. Kenny?
Well, there's a difference between bad intentions and then what they call overt acts,
right.
Which is what he did.
See, the overt acts is where it gets tricky. Like, was it an overt act? Because they had Alan Dershowitz talking, and they had a lot of ACLU people. What's an overt act, and what's a fucking, and what is...
Seems to be a gray line.
Yeah, like
gray area.
Because Dershowitz said that what happens is when you start using things like conspiracy, they take anything you're doing, and they go, well, that's part of the conspiracy. But like a lot of people say, is it?
Right. It's the totality of the circumstances.
Okay. Just the evidence, I see why people could say that it was, and I didn't think it was. You know what I mean? It's really a tough one.
You definitely can't use the police computer to check people for,
right.
That's for, criminal justice purposes only, not personal use. But he followed people.
But as a pervert, though, is that part of just being is that just part of does that mean you're about to commit a crime, or is it just taking a fantasy too far that you're never going to act on?
Well, that's the totality of the circumstances with everything else. The emails, like he fucked up. He got caught.
But what the cops, I think, did wrong is they should have set him up, and they should have had like a guy, an agent poses somebody and say, okay, let's get this girl tomorrow. Because he would talk about his wife's schedule. This other girl he would name, but there was one moment where the guy goes, can I have her address to look her up on Google Maps? And Gilbert lied. He goes, nah, man, I don't have her address, but he did have it. Mm-hmm. So when it came down to taking that step, he didn't do it.
Didn't the wife cooperate? She had spyware on his computer?
Yeah, but she did that just because she suspected. She's the one who turned him in. But I get why she turned him in. I don't think she was being I think she was just scared, man. Like, that's fucking she didn't know this guy. She's married to this guy who's talking about cutting her throat and hanging her upside down while she's asleep with the baby.
But even like Dahmer, like it all started somewhere.
It does.
Right.
But how many things start somewhere that never go anywhere?
I don't think many wives would deal with that.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
You're sleeping and your baby's in the next room, and your husband is fantasizing eating women.
Dude, and cutting your throat.
You're not going to survive that.
But can he see his daughter anymore?
I don't know.
And what about the women? Are they freaked out that he's out of jail?
They have to.
I mean, the woman that I know that was a victim that was on his list is not scared at all. She was like,
But she's the cop.
She's the cop, but she's also like, she said, she was like, I just know that it was fantasy. Like, I don't think, she was like, I role play. I know that he's sick and demented. She's like, I'm not saying he shouldn't go to therapy and he doesn't have some type of sexual deviance. She's like, but I'm not scared that he's going to cut me up and eat me.
You keep upping the ante as it gets harder and harder to get off. That's all it is, man. It's like you're not as turned on anymore by this, and then it's just got to get fucking extreme.
But where does that end? Where now I actually now need to do something to keep this going. Where does it end?
That's the good question. It happens sometimes where guys take it too far and they begin acting, or you go full circle, dude. Remember I told you that there's times where all of a sudden I'll jerk off thinking about being in love.
Yeah.
Then it just gets boring, and then goes, and the bottom drops out. No, but you just start from another place.
Right.
Or you switch.
Well, that part of it goes away.
That part goes away.
Right.
You switch into another direction where all of a sudden you're talking about killing her and her fucking feet, and then you're like, her fucking feet look good. I just want to smell them. They're size 10s. And then all of a sudden you've turned down an alley, and the other place is not where you go.
But where do you stop? Well, now you need, to cut the toes off the feet.
It's a slippery slope.
I understand that.
But a lot of times you just keep switching the fucking veins that you go down, the alleys you go down.
My only question is, you keep up in the ante, but does that ever stop, or do you it's not a gray area anymore? Now you're like, oh fuck, now you're more into the reality of the fantasy.
I think both. I think it can happen. That's the question.
Yeah,
because it happens both ways.
I guess that's what makes this a very interesting case.
Well, yeah, like where is appropriate or legal, and when all of a sudden have you gone too far? Like those guys on To Catch a Predator, they were going there to fuck a child. They fucking got set up by an agent. The language was there. They showed up at the house with condoms to fuck a 13-year-old. That to me is an overt act. Like,
did Gil ever have weapons that they caught him with? Like, did he ever have like a knife?
No.
Nothing.
No, he didn't. But there was a guy that did that they convicted. But again, even that stuff to me is not convincing. Unless they should have had an agent set them up. We got this girl, blah, 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 and then maybe 2 or 3 agents. And if he shows up with his kit on schedule to actually act out and begins to approach this person, then you have the cops come out and pull guns. You're busted.
We got a lawyer. He actually is dealing with a very similar situation. And we got a New York City prosecutor on hold as well. Mike in New York, go ahead. What do you got on this?
Hey, guys. It was about 10 years ago. I had a case similar to this. I had a guy who was enticing minors over the Internet, and that he was also had emails going back and forth about all kinds of violent acts he wanted to do. And we had a role-playing expert out of California, a psychiatrist, who described exactly what Jimmy was talking about. Where's that line the meets where it goes from fantasy into an affirmative overt act that brings it into the realm of conspiracy law. And it was ultimately, we had a hung jury and convicted because the judge wouldn't let us bring the psychiatrist in. And then the appeal overturned the conviction because of that reason.
Yeah, why couldn't you bring the psychiatrist in?
It was a very old judge. He was in his 80s.
Oh.
And he felt that the psychiatrist dealing with fantasy role play, S&M, and stuff like that was not a well-founded science.
Okay.
And the appeals court disagreed with him.
Just seems like it's a tough call because you just don't know in the end.
Sure. How many people fantasize and do these overt acts? They just don't write it down. Like how many rapists go through it in their mind, jerking off to it, then begin stalking, but you just never know it because they don't write it down. Maybe writing it down actually prevents you from doing it, and there's other people who would go, no, it doesn't prevent you from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a lot of cases, what they do is they look at guys, Jim, like what you're saying is have the agent pose as a co-conspirator or as a potential victim or whatever and set up a meet and greet. And then at the meet and greet, a lot of times you'll look at, well, did the guy bring condoms with him? Did he bring roofies with him? Did he bring a weapon with him to the meet and greet? Or was he just sitting there with his briefcase on his lunch hour from the office, and that became the penultimate version of his fantasy to actually go to the park to meet with whoever this person was,
right,
with no intent to do anything else, and run away and hide and never even introduce himself.
The reason I like, there was little weird things in this. Like they would say, like him and the guy from England say, all right, we're going to talk Tuesday and work it out. But then the Tuesday would come and go with no phone call. 3 Tuesdays later, it was almost like a trigger pulling time or at certain critical points. This guy always backed off. And it could be like he was just gearing up and he was a chicken shit and eventually he would have done it. Or it could have been that the fantasy was the idea of it and not doing it. Like, I really do get that, although just, like I said, not with this fetish. This is a weird one. And I know a girl named, I told you, Pepper Kester, who's a really fucking sexy redhead who I've talked about before. She's so hot. But she's she does girl porn. And she was in some of the videos that this guy would fantasize about. Like, she was in some of the porn. She was in girls getting eaten, cannibal porn, with an apple in her mouth, and she's
what
so
a
fucking
weird
hot.
fetish to be into.
But it's about total domination.
Yeah.
It's total domination, I think, in owning a person.
All right.
I don't get the fucking eating them, but I love Pepper Kester. Holy mackerel.
She is hot.
Oh, she's a fucking true delight in every sense of the word.
Look at Pepper.
Pepper Kester rules.
Pepper.
Lovely girl.
Let me go to Andy in Philly. Thank you, Mike. Andy's a former New York City prosecutor.
Hey, guys.
And he can help with this. Go ahead.
I hope I can help with it. I think the word that you guys are, first of all, about the appeal that Jimmy was talking about, what happened there is the judge ruled that there wasn't evidence that he intended to do this, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, here's all this evidence that he enjoys it, but the judge ruled that the jury couldn't have found that there was intent to commit the crime. Like, that's where the appeal comes in, and the judge is able to overturn a jury's conviction, notwithstanding their conviction.
And it's a real rare thing, right?
Yeah, really, really rare. The standard is really, really high. The judge, and that's why the state is almost always going to appeal that, because it's really rare and there's a really high standard. And I assume that's why he's being retried now, because the appeals court will overturn that a lot. And so that's where they're at there. But the real issue is intent. And that's hard in a lot of cases, not just in an attempt or a conspiracy case like this. You always are going to have to prove what's in someone's head, and that's always going to be really difficult. But in a case like this, you guys are dancing around it, and you're right. It's really difficult to draw that line between act or not act, and that's where the problem is here.
And I would assume they find a lot of these guys guilty because they don't want to take the chance in the end.
Right.
But do you think he's not going to go to jail?
I don't know, honestly. I know that I wouldn't want to be trying that case, because it's
that's honest.
Difficult.
Don't want to mess that perfect record of yours. They're obsessed with their records instead of the truth, some of these guys. I'm 28-0.
Gordon Bombay, Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think they're going to do different? What are the prosecutors? Is this just the prosecutors are embarrassed that they say egg on their face and they have to kind of appeal it?
Oh, I don't think that's the case, and I don't think that's really ever the case, quite frankly, Jim. That a prosecutor is going to go back because they're embarrassed. I think that they probably see this as a crime, and they probably see this as a dangerous person that they're afraid, they're afraid would commit this crime or was on his way to committing this crime. The prosecutor has an ethical duty to only try a case where they feel they have the evidence to convict. And in this case, they clearly see that they feel that they have the evidence to convict on the charge that's there, and that they then need to go forward with.
Did he testify or no?
I don't know.
I don't know if he testified, but I'm telling you, how do you not testify? I understand that your own words can't be used against you and what the legal stuff is, but if you're facing life in prison for this shit, how do you not get on the stand and go, no, I was being creepy and dirty? But I almost have no mercy for him if he didn't testify.
Jim, I've never worked as a defense attorney. I know how that works, and it's always a tough call for every defendant to testify or not to testify, because the reality is if you choose to testify, then yeah, you can use those words against you. Like that's why you choose to testify in your own trial or you don't. But I think your instinct is right in this case, that you have a really good chance of negating that intent by testifying and saying, X, Y, or Z about what I meant to do and what I didn't.
Because only you can say that. And the thing is, because they already have his words. Like, they already have testimony from him, and it's what he wrote in the emails and in the text and in and they're, fuck, dude, it's bad stuff. It's like, she's sleeping next, and he didn't talk about hurting the kid, but I think he talked about, she's sleeping. I want to hang her upside down and cut her throat, but I want her to suffer. He talked a lot about his wife suffering.
The other side of that, though, is that if you do testify, you open yourself up to the prosecutor to cross-examine you.
Yes.
So it's really a tough decision for defense attorneys. Ultimately, it's the defendant's choice, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if the defense lawyer says, no, you're not doing that, you're not testifying, it's stupid, if the defendant insists on it, then the defense attorney has to allow him to.
But shouldn't you be open to prosecution cross-examining you if you really know that you weren't going to do this? Like, if your life's on the line, as much as I'm a pervert, I know I've never hurt anybody and I wouldn't want to, I would really want to make that clear to the jury. Like, look, I'm dirty, but it does stop here.
Yeah.
This is why I did that.
It's just a matter of, and again, I'm not speaking from a place of knowing a lot about this guy. I don't work there, and it's been a while since I worked there. I want to make that clear, so I don't know what the evidence that the prosecutor's holding. There could be stuff that doesn't come out in their case in chief that then becomes available to them if you choose to testify.
Oh, okay.
So there's also, like statements that maybe weren't admissible in the prosecution's case in chief could be admissible if the defendant testifies, if he's got statements that are counter to what he's saying on the record. There's a lot that goes into that calculus of testifying or not testifying, which is beyond just like, I need to tell my side of it.
See, what's happening, as you're talking, we're looking at like little facts that Adrian brought up. There's a girl named he went to college with. This is the girl he drove to Maryland to see, named something Sauer.
Kimberly?
Kimberly Sauer, whatever, who was a friend from his days in Maryland, and they were obviously close. And that was one of his fantasies. His 10-year fantasy was to cook this girl. He was talking to the guy, like, yeah, I'm going to go and do recon, but he was just going to have lunch with her, with his wife and kid anyway. And the guy's like, can you get her for me? And Vale insisted on $5,000 since he would be taking such a risk abducting her. And the guy asked about, payment for $5,000, and Gilbert said, full payment, do it delivery. And then the guy goes, can you have her tied barefoot? I don't want her to kick me. Like, when you think about it, that's all fetish talk shit. I don't want her to kick me. Here's the thing. I want her tied barefoot. I'm jerking off. But here's the practical reason, which makes the fantasy. But I want her tied so she doesn't kick me. That's not why you want her tied barefoot. You just like the image of a girl tied barefoot. But if you put it into real life terms, like so she doesn't kick me, that enables your fantasy to seem real.
Jim, I think you have a future as an expert witness.
But I'm saying, like, there's little things in this language, and in these talks that I've done about different stuff, that makes it real. Like, it's almost like in the fantasy you have to justify why you know, I think we all fantasize differently. Like some guys just fantasize in a tactile way. Like what were you thinking about when you jerked off? The mouth on my dick, a girl sucking my dick. Or you talk to a woman, I just rubbed my clit thinking about his weight on me. Fucking. But with me, I like porn from the 80s, where it's like, why are you touching me? What are you doing? You can't do that. You're my cousin. There's a whole scenario-based thing which turns me on. So I think if you're like a tactile guy who fantasizes about stuff, you have a much easier time getting off because you can just think about a mouth on your dick and you're blowing a load. But I'm not like that. I am much more built around the scenario. So if you're scenario built, you have to keep changing the scenario, and you can kind of go any way you want to go.
But you know you'll never step over the line.
Right. And then maybe there's a combination of tactile and scenario, and those are the guys that might fucking actually go out and do it.
Because there's absolutely guys that then step over the line.
Dude, a lot. And they all start off fantasizing.
Yeah, that's why this is fascinating. This documentary's on HBO.
Yeah, it's called Cannibal Cop.
Thank you, Andy.
And
hey, thanks, guys. I just wanted to say I'm new back to the show after a while, and I think that, where the show's been the last year or so has been awesome. So I've been really enjoying it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
The thing with, but again, it's the prosecutors. You can't just say the prosecutors are terrible or that the wife is awful because he did do shit that was beyond. Yeah. And he is a cop, and he did have a gun, and he was following. It's almost like, you know what I mean? That's tough, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They have, I'm telling you, when you go to, I don't know if it's just the high school I went to, but like there's some type of camaraderie that happens in like all boy high school environments where like I didn't even know, I knew Gil well, but like the second all this shit happened, like I was already in like defense mode, like fuck his wife, fuck the jurors, like he didn't do that. But it's like Jim said, he probably did. But there's just something like where I'm like, fuck, this is like a brother. This is like, don't talk, it's like, it like becomes like family. It's weird.
I think those all boys schools fuck you up.
It's totally fucked up.
Because you don't get to really socialize with women.
We don't get socialized with women, and there's no.
And when you do, you have to be sneaky about it.
100%. I guarantee you, throughout this fetish of Gil's was somehow either shaped or heightened in the halls of Archbishop Malloy High School because of the shit that happens in that dynamic with us.
Sorry to interrupt you. Or the fact that his parents, weird shit, his parents are divorced because they would fight a lot. So who knows? Maybe he blames his mother and that was his turn on. Or maybe it just progresses from fucking weird BDSM stuff into this. Maybe in high school you're jerking off thinking about tying a girl and hitting her with a ruler. And then, because there's the language is like, there's one we're looking at, where I think he told this guy he met in a fetish chat room, I want her to experience being cooked alive. She'll be trussed up like a turkey, terrified, screaming, and crying. No, I could never jerk off.
Yeah, trust is a good. Trust is the right word. Trust,
fucking
you
word.
Thought about that word.
She's trussed up like a turkey. The feeling of that in your mouth. She's trussed up like a turkey. You blow your load to those words.
I think Chris is onto something because when you go to an all boys school, I think you really got to use your fantasies.
Exactly.
They got to go deeper because you don't have like the girl that is really sexy walking down the hallway that you really want to talk to, but you're too scared to talk to. She's wearing a tiny little skirt today, or she's got her, her boobs are blossoming, and that's driving you nuts. But you don't have any of that to work off, so now you have just your mind.
And I had my mind and what's in front of me, like almost like jail. Like I somehow had to turn, the schlubby fat Irish kid from Rockaway, into some hot piece of ass, and somehow that could turn into a cannibal eating fucking fantasy. I mean, you had to, there's no escaping it.
I have issues with my mom, not as many as I get older, but one of the things she did do right, there was a time where, she was being talked into sending us all to all boys schools. Mm-hmm. And she said no. She just knew that would not be good for us. Right. Because maybe it is good for other parents. I don't know. But she's like, no, man, I want my kids to experience, girls and growing up and socializing and all that. Yeah, the socializing aspect got to her. Like, what? So what? They don't get to socialize with girls on that innocent, 15-year-old level?
It was stupid because we would, the exact reason my mom wanted me to go to the all-boy Catholic high school so I wouldn't be distracted by women was counterproductive because I wouldn't listen because I was so fucking horny and as soon as 2:30 that bell would ring, we sprinted like rats to Mary Lewis. Right. We would go to the all-girls school and just try to, You know what, one thing I will say about Gil, one thing that I just remembered is there's a guy who went to my high school. His name is Mike Baxter. He's a professional baseball player now. I think he's on the Cardinals. He was on the Mets, but now he's on the Cardinals. And he would say that because Gil was on the baseball team, like Gil didn't have like a good body or anything. He was just like a little kid, but he would hit fucking moonshots, like aggressive swing, just moonshots. So maybe there was some like pent up anger that this guy would just take out on the fucking baseball.
Or he became a cop too.
Field. Yeah.
They were going to put some shrink on the stand or psychologist who was a very respected New York guy, and it would have helped him because the guy said a lot of this is very normal, and he's not the guy who would do this. But they said the guy would have been destroyed on cross-examination because he had written counter stuff in his books about how a lot of people with this total deviance they become cops because they want, like, because you're describing him as a pretty like fucking schlubby guy.
Yeah.
So maybe that was part of his power fantasy was to get the gun and be able to, who knows, you know.
Yeah. He was one of those guys that was completely, other than being on the baseball team, like passed over. Like nobody, even when we were thinking about it, like when's the last time you spoke to Gil? Or what's your memories of Gil? Like nobody, he was just quiet. One of those kids that just snuck through high school.
You know, he had some probably dark things in his head. Always. Yeah. He definitely would have broke the egg.
For 100%. And I'm telling you, he wanted...
protected that little egg.
I fucking protected it.
Good for you.
And I'm a good father.
How did you protect it? Did you, like, get cotton balls and stuff?
Yeah, I would just be like, stop being a fucking asshole, Gil.
No, but how? Like, on a regular day, how did you protect the egg?
We put it in a Tupperware, which is like the womb.
Right.
And then my mom had sick fucking Tupperwares. Yeah. You know, like Crate and Barrel approved Tupperwares.
But if it's rolling around in a Tupperware, it could crack.
It could crack, but I'm delicate. I had a 2002 Jansport that was fucking to the gills, padded. Can't fuck with that book bag. I used to get a ride. I used to get a ride to school in my grandpa's, 1998 Toyota Corolla, durable. So, you know what I'm saying? Good driver.
Handled the bumps nice.
Handled the bumps.
Made sure the egg didn't crack.
Yeah, gym class, all boy high school kids want to fucking, throw their dicks around and act like assholes. I would just make sure the baby egg is in the locker room protected.
Did you guys try to break each other's eggs?
100. Oh my!
Just to be assholes.
I can't tell you how many times I tried to smash Pat Finnegan's egg right over his head, and then call him a fucking pussy.
That's great.
Just for no reason,
That's awesome. All right, Chris DiStefano is here today. We got Ben Mesrick coming on in about a half hour. We're going to take a break here.
Somebody on Twitter says again, cannibalism does nothing for me. They quoted me. The only guy who would have to say again while trying to hammer the point home. And you're right.
Well, Chris, what are you promoting today?
Promoting? I got
anything?
No, I'm working on a scripted show that fucking I can't talk about yet. I wish I could. So I don't have any stand up really until mid-July. I guess July 18th, 19th. I'll be in Arlington, Virginia, at the Arlington Draft House.
So you're just hanging out,
hanging out,
nice.
promoting Goodwill.
Chris is a really good fucking actor too. I was very impressed. Let's just say that I heard rumors.
I told you.
Maybe
Thanks,
saw.
Man.
I told Chris you said that.
Yeah, he's really good.
Told you.
Well, I mean, Jim, I was talking about you before when I was waiting to come on, how great you are on set. I just wanted to suck your dick.
Thank you. You're a good boy. Okay. But Chris was really a funny actor, very natural. The lines were believable and really funny, man. I was watching the chemistry between you and those guys.
I appreciate
that's a really fucking funny show.
And Jimmy's got some tickets going on sale at 10 o'clock.
10 a.m.
Jimmy's mad at 10 o'clock right now.
It's just stupid. They should be on sale now. I could be promoting it. But 10 o'clock, November 5 through 7, the Comedy Zone in Charlotte. I'm returning to Charlotte, and I got Pittsburgh coming up, Borgata, Albuquerque. Seattle has been rescheduled for August. Just go to my dumb website and fucking look at the tickets. I'm tired of tap dancing. If you want to see me, you'll see me. If you don't, you won't.
Like a rhinestone cowboy. More with Opie and Jim after this.
All right, let's do this. Chris, you help me out with this.
Okay.
I got to sell engagement rings for this guy. IHateStevenSinger.com.
All right.
Imagine this. She's been waiting for... Are you getting engaged?
I am engaged. I'm engaged. And I have a fucking baby.
What happened?
Dude, it's sick. I haven't been here in a few months, and then shit went crazy.
What happened?
What happened? I didn't pull out on a Puerto Rican girl. That's what happened.
Wait, you're having a baby?
No, the baby exists. She's 2 weeks old. I have a human that I created with she's here. And there's an engagement ring that I spent a lot of money on.
You haven't been here in a while.
7-8 months. What the fuck happened?
7
what
or
did
8
I say?
months. You didn't say anything.
I talk about Dan Aykroyd one time. I fucking don't come back for 8 months.
Wait, so you're engaged and you have a kid?
Engaged and I have a kid.
And the kid is new?
The kid is 2 weeks old. Her name's Delilah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Well, what? You should have texted me. I could have got you a ring on the arm.
I didn't know.
Well, maybe not on the arm, but at a deeply discounted price.
Yeah. Well,
Steven Singer takes care of me and my pals.
Steven Singer's a good guy.
If we're pals, I could have got you a nice ring. How much did you pay? Where'd you go?
Jesus, I paid, I think, $15,000.
Oof. Where?
That's a lot. I actually went to a Filipino Jew. He's the only
real?
Filipino Jew that exists in New York City. Yeah, it's one of the guy, one of my, my manager's friend. He sells rings, and he said he gave me a good deal. He said that
they all say they're giving you a good deal,
but
maybe you did though.
I thought I trusted. I mean, I trusted because I trusted my manager, and this was a close friend, but Filipino Jew. So I've never met a guy like that.
Does he have a website? I'd rather promote him than IHateStevenSinger.com.
I just know his name is Ray. I don't even know his
Ray
last
the
name.
Filipino Jew.
Ray the Filipino Jew.
So if you're getting engaged in the near future, you got to search out Ray the Filipino Jew.
He's a great guy.
Where does he hang out? Is he on a corner at least?
Yeah, in the Diamond District. But he's in there, with this fucking yarmulke. It's weird. It's like he's a Filipino guy with just a full blown yarmulke. But he's a good. I mean, he was a great guy.
So I mean, I got to say, do the rings fall off a truck or?
They might. I mean, the ring right now, I mean, it's definitely a real, it's real.
Thing.
It's a beautiful ring. It's still sparkling. She loves it. Her friends are going nuts.
All right. So if you want to see Ray the Filipino Jew, you got to go to IHateStevenSinger.com.
Right.
You got to, we can't call Ray the Filipino Jew, unfortunately.
No.
And you can only find him on a corner every once in a while in the Diamond District.
That's it. It's something Sun Trust Diamond, Sun something.
Well, Steven Singer, you can call him.
All right, let's call him
1-888 I hate Steven Singer, but only call Steven Singer if you can't find Ray the Filipino Jew.
Yeah.
Only do it if you can't find Ray.
That's all.
And Steven Singer he has an actual place, unlike Ray, who's just kind of hanging out on corners with rings that fell out of trucks.
Is he a Jew?
He's a Jew.
Big Jew.
He's a Jew. He doesn't go yarmulke, though.
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking he should go yarmulke.
Yeah, yarmulke or a curl, something.
Maybe a little curl. Maybe just like a hint of a curl where you go, I think he's got a curl.
Yeah.
You don't want to get too obnoxious with the curl.
Fucking Stevie.
Those guys walk really fast in Manhattan. Why? Where are they walking to?
I have no clue.
Anybody on this one?
Did I
go way too local? Every time you see a Hasidic Jew, they're walking really fast. Where are they going?
I just think they always have to take a shit. That's what always looks like they're going. They have to take a kosher shit.
They walk really quickly. They're in a hurry all the time. Where are they going?
And they're horrible drivers.
I want to follow them. I want to know where they're walking to.
They won't let you follow them. They'll
outwalk you.
They'll never know their secrets.
All
never.
Right. So, Ray the Filipino Jew, 888 I hate Steven Singer, or go down to the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philadelphia. Don't let someone you love buy something less than the very best. Go to Steven Singer Jewelers.
8th and Walnut? I could never buy a ring on fucking Walnut Street. I would feel like an asshole.
The other corner of 8th and Walnut, and there's a Starbucks across the street.
Walnut. What a stupid name for a street. I can't sell anything from Walnut.
Yeah, but until I know how to get a hold of Ray the Filipino Jew, this is how I got to sell engagement rings.
When is it? When's this? What is it? What is it today? Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday? All right, he's around. You can't catch him Friday, Saturday. The sun goes down, he's fucking in.
All right. I hate StevenSinger.com if you're going to get engaged in the near future.
On Walnut Street.
On Walnut Street, yes.
Fucking stupid.
It is back. Chris DiStefano in studio. He's going to be leaving us in a few minutes to go back on set.
Yeah.
That makes us seem cool.
Hell yeah.
He's got to leave to go back on set. Like that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of Caitlyn Jenner things that we still got to get to. Do you know Joe Beningo?
Joe Beningo?
Yeah.
I love him.
From The Fan.
No, he was a listener many years ago that won a contest or something, or they gave him a show. He's a real sports guy. And when we were kicked off the air years ago, I couldn't listen to regular radio. I couldn't listen to comedy. I was so depressed. So I would ride around the meatpacking district, looking at girls. I'm throwing up air quotes, and I would listen to the fucking Fan all night. And Beningo is the overnight guy then. He's great, dude. Yeah. I fucking love stupid Joe Beningo.
Well, Beningo's a great last name.
Yeah, it really is.
Beningo.
Doris in Rego Park.
Hello, Joe. I think the Mets really need to get rid of Mookie Wilson. Thank you for your time and courtesy. She's dead, though.
Was she a regular caller?
Yeah. Hey, Bruce, you want to talk Rangers?
Yeah, Joe, I think that the Rangers, they really need to start putting the puck in the net because they're not going to do anything.
Bruce in Flushing.
You got to go on his show.
Yeah,
Does he know you're a big fan?
He probably has no idea who I am, nor would he care.
Oh, he knows who you are.
Yeah.
Stop already.
I
Joe
would never
Beningo knows who Jim Norton is.
Fucking Joey Beningo definitely knows.
All right, let's. Well, Joe, had some fun things to say about Caitlyn Jenner yesterday.
Good for Joe.
So let's go right to the tape.
Adrian.
It's not set up, is it now, Adrian? Oh boy.
He's hitting play.
Yeah. And you got your thing
Adrian.
on. You got your thing on over there. Yeah. I'm just
no strength on the pole, because you know what, Joe? That's what was missing in that final game. There was no strength on the
pause. So what did you do wrong? You figured it out. I saw you.
I had it muted.
Huh?
I had it muted.
You had it muted?
I did.
Okay. All right. Here's Joe Beningo.
puck. There was no one bashing, no one hitting. They just looked totally flat.
It's not that the Rangers didn't miss Max Zuccarello. It's that everybody's dealing with injuries, and a lot of teams. Is this real? Sorry, I'm looking at the cover of Vanity Fair.
Who's on the cover of Vanity Fair?
That would be Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, no, she's pretty good. She's pretty good. Father's a little messed up, but she's pretty good.
Oh, Joe. Joe.
She's cute. How old is she?
If I'm not mistaken,
how old is she?
Caitlyn Jenner is the father.
Oh, what? Oh, that's Bruce? Come on. I thought that was one of his daughters.
No, that's him.
Let me see.
He changed his name. That's why I'm saying, call me Caitlyn.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
Oh, my God. I thought that was his. Did he have two daughters? I thought that was one of the daughters'
Yeah,
names.
but his daughters are younger. Kylie or Kyrie or something. That's Bruce Jenner.
Oh, my.
Well, no, that's Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, my God, bro.
You all right?
No.
It's interesting. I'm going to read that article.
No.
Do we have Vanity Fair around here?
Is that they really have him on or her, or however you want to say it on the cover?
Well, that's why I was at, because it like popped up on the
I thought that was
the
his
iPad.
I thought that because his daughter, he does have cute daughters, but I didn't know that. I thought that was one of the daughters' names.
No, that's him. He's on the cover. I'm sorry, that's her. She's on the cover of Vanity Fair.
Your thoughts on that picture?
She looks good. What are you going to say? She looks very good. Give her credit. I watched that interview with what's her name? The one with the interview. Diane Sawyer.
Diane Sawyer.
I watched it. It was very interesting. It was very interesting, the whole interview. You didn't watch it?
No.
Got huge ratings.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure off the charts.
It was.
I didn't know he changed his name now to Caitlyn Jenner.
Well, he did not. In the interview, he didn't say what his name was going, or her name is going to be. What was interesting about the interview is, you know who looked good out of the interview?
No.
Kim Kardashian. She was very supportive of him and very.
So was the ex-wife, right?
Yeah. Well, he's got a few ex-wives.
Well, but the Kardashian ex-wife, the one he was just married to. What's her name?
Yeah, Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner. Yeah.
And she was married to her for a long time, right? And they got the two daughters, right? The two daughters?
Yeah, that's the daughter that we were mentioning, right. Kylie and something else.
Kendall. Okay, yeah. Kendall. I didn't know these names. I thought it was Caitlyn. So my bad. What do I know? But now that you show me the picture, I'm like, oh my God.
I had to pause a little.
Show Mick on that picture. Mick, what's your thoughts on this, Mick?
It's Caitlyn Jenner, formerly Bruce Jenner. Your thoughts, Mick? You okay? What's the problem?
Oh, man. What's the problem? No problem.
What's the issue here?
No issue.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Thank God the show's over. What his show ended with a thud, huh?
I don't think it was with a thud, was it?
I felt a thud come down.
You something interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
All right.
Oh, man. Want to thank all the callers. Great job, as always. Could not do without you. Oh, boy. Want to thank Ernie Acosta, Dove Kramer, Caitlyn Jenner.
Not his daughter.
No, well, obviously. Oh, man. All right, I guess it's time to go. CBS Sports Minute coming up. Mike's coming up, all of that. We'll talk.
He's good. He has like a Mike Francesa delivery to him a little bit.
That's a very
I hear a little Mike Francesa in there.
It's a very honest reaction. Like, that's how people see it. Like, people don't know what to make of it. They're like, yeah, all right, oh boy, oh Lord.
Yeah.
Like, that's how a lot of older guys look at it. Like, oh jeez.
But Joe thought it was Bruce's daughter, and that Bruce's daughter is pretty hot. But then it turns out it's Bruce himself as Caitlyn Jenner.
Well, that's the honest reaction. So good.
Bruce's daughters really are smoking hot though. Kylie and Kendall. One of them's young.
They're both young.
Isn't one of them like legal though?
I think you could still say they're hot. I think because they're like in the fashion industry and stuff. That tricks everyone.
Fudge, yeah.
Was you?
The one made a big comeback. The one was not hot at all. And Kendall, I think.
No. Are you talking about the one?
No,
who
Kendall's really
Lamar
hot.
Odom?
The other one. No, that's Chloe.
Chloe.
God, why do I know this? Shut up.
Fucking good.
Enough already.
Chloe.
Kylie. Yeah, Kylie made a huge comeback.
Look at that.
She made a huge comeback. She was not that hot. Anyway, so that's Joe Benigno and his comment about Caitlyn Jenner.
It's true.
And now we move on to, let's do Neil Cavuto, because he's mocking the whole thing. You're not allowed to mock this, Chris. We're learning.
Okay.
If you mock this, they basically want to destroy you as a public personality. But not everyone's going to be like so understanding, like, oh, it's so great for everyone and this and that. Some people, will have a different reaction, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, have a right to your opinion, for sure.
Well, what's the headline on this clip?
It's Rome Final Days. Fox's Neil Cavuto mocks Caitlyn Jenner.
So what does that mean? That they're now going to go for his job, probably?
Probably, yeah. People were pissed.
Because he's not doing what everyone else is doing and just saying it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, and
that has ever happened in the world.
His co-host kept referring to Caitlyn as he.
Oh, really?
People didn't like that.
Well, I get why Bruce Jenner wouldn't like it, but for people, this is a big fucking change in life. You can't yell at everybody because they don't use the proper word.
Right. And it's still very fresh.
I was going to say it's brand new.
And he might biologically still be a he.
Yeah, and it's like, how long has this person been used to calling Bruce Jenner he? It's like, it's June 2015. I just started writing 2015. I was putting 2014 for 5 months. It's fucking,
yesterday he was 2 days ago he was a he, and and then Vanity Fair now he's officially a she. I guess
he's a piece of ass.
I don't know. Yeah. Let's play this. Neil Cavuto. He does speak his mind. This Neil Cavuto.
Yes, I like Neil Cavuto.
He's not
Neil.
All right. Well, if it's news to you, sometimes it can be news to us because we thought we'd pass this along on this unscripted 2-hour show where anything can happen. Probably will. Bruce Jenner is now Caitlyn Jenner. I want you to check out the new Vanity Fair cover.
Hiding the hands.
Dagan McDowell on. What the hell is going on, Dagan?
Well, that's how you transition. Bruce Jenner, let's give him credit. He is the only person on planet Earth who knows how to one-up his most famous stepdaughter, Kim Kardashian. She announces last night that she's pregnant with a child. Well, you know what? I can do you one better than that. That's how he unveiled his new identity.
That wasn't done on purpose. It was just timing. Shut up.
Leaving his male identity behind with Caitlyn. I mean, he figured out an interesting way to spell it right now. Caitlyn. And Bruce,
I like her.
Caitlyn said this is part of the transitioning. Leaving that male identity behind. We'll use female pronouns from now on. But it isn't what about the outfit? It's a white satin corset. Very Playboy Bunny-esque, is it not, Neil?
I wouldn't know, but thank you for that.
Listen, Annie Leibovitz took the photograph. If you're going to unveil yourself as a woman, I mean, you can't really get any better than that.
You can't. No, Dagan, you certainly can't. Look at the time. Dagan, thank you.
Dagan McDowell, I like Dagan.
He looks hot. She looks hot, rather.
Yes, okay. Now on to Charlene Payne, or shall I say Charles Payne.
What did he do?
What's the problem there?
We'll see.
All right, what do you make of all that?
It's the era that we're living in, right?
It is. Yeah. Rome Final Days, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I think the problem Caitlyn's
the problem?
Come on.
I think the problem Caitlyn's going to have is when she has to do her makeup herself. Because someone dollied her up very nice for the photo shoot.
I don't understand what the problem was with what.
That's what he said? That's the problem?
Yeah, I'm glad there wasn't really much there, because
there's nothing there.
This is what our society does now.
It's like
they take a tiny little thing. There's no problem with what was said on Neil Cavuto's show whatsoever, even the Rome comment.
Yeah, it's like you said, nobody has to be 100% okay with this. I mean, it's not like the guy went out bashing, transgenders or anything. He was like, I'm not comfortable with it.
Rome Final Days, but that's fine. But he says, but that's fine. Meaning that the times they are a-changing is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
And he said, and that's fine. So, even though, what we're used to is kind of going away, it's fine that this new thing is happening. And even I don't have a problem with anything he said.
Even if he thinks it stinks. Even if Neil Cavuto thinks it stinks, he should be able to think he thinks it stinks.
Of course.
Or say that. If he said, like, hey, that's awful, I think that people should assault her in the parking lot.
That's a problem.
All right, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But fucking,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's fair.
And finally, Fox News. Let's go to Steve Ducey, and then we're going to get Chris out of here.
All right.
Because you got to get back on set.
Yeah. Ducey. That's a hilarious last name.
Not a big fan of the Ducey. He's on Fox and Friends. He's the blonde guy on Fox and Friends. Yeah. He's kind of a goofball. And
great, Brian. Thank you.
Here he is.
They get a piece of nearly $300 million in taxpayer money. And if it were up to PBS, the public broadcasting service, lessons on love and sex would start in kindergarten at age 4. PBS NewsHour arguing the Dutch system of teaching sex ed to 4-year-olds should make its way to the United States.
Yes, it should.
Is that a good idea?
Yes, it is.
Here for a fair and balanced debate, we've got former teacher Whitney Neal, joining us from Washington, and parenting blogger Sherry Corso here in our studio.
girls.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Sherry, you think the Dutch model, where they're teaching kids about sex at age 4, is okay?
Yes, I do. It's a different world that we live in today, and the children today are
4-year-olds.
Yes,
we're talking about 4-year-olds.
4-year-olds.
Stop this.
This is why this guy.
I have 2 small kids. They don't graphically talk about sex, but they give you some basics about it. As a parent, we don't know how to talk to our kids yet.
Yeah, and you're also going to see this stuff on. The problem is you have a medium. When stupid Steve Ducey was growing up, there was 4 channels. There was really nowhere for you to see this stuff unless you found a dirty magazine.
Yeah, in the woods.
Kids have iPads and all this stuff. It's like you're going to see stuff by age 5 or 6 that you might not have seen till age 10 when we were growing up, or whatever it was when I was a kid.
Right. I mean, God, I wish I saw stuff at 10. I was searching.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that you had to really actively go out and find it.
Yeah.
You couldn't just open it accidentally or have it sent to you or have somebody contact you. There's a million different ways to fuck. So yeah,
and Ducey's going for the shock value of it. When you say sex ed, you're thinking the graphic shit. Right. You sit your 4-year-old down and go, all right, so the penis goes into the vagina. They don't talk like that.
No.
They would never do that.
No, where the fuck is Ducey from? Like, where's he from in the U.S.?
I don't know. Let's continue because this lady, she says, yeah, they should do that, and then we'll get the other. We'll get the counterpoint. Thank God. Push play on that.
She's pretty.
For a 4-year-old, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have the web,
Jimmy's
you weren't
point.
bombarded by these sexually explicit messages like the kids are today. It's also a study done at Georgetown and also other many social studies that the earlier that we start teaching our kids about sexuality and being responsible for your body, and there is lower teen birth rates. There is lower amounts of sexual abuse because they can identify it sooner.
Okay, and certainly that's a dialogue, Whitney, that should happen. But at age 4?
This guy is the worst.
He's an idiot.
He's a hack. He's a fucking Fox News hack. Like, he feels like he has to say it.
Right.
Because that's the company line.
We carefully talk to my son about his privates and privacy, just explaining it. But we don't go into graphic detail. But basically, you learn you got to teach your kid that their body is theirs, and you don't want to be naked in front of fucking strangers and all that. You have to teach them this stuff,
and it's just natural.
They don't know shit yet.
No, it's natural, and it's like how when I went to like I said, I went to Catholic school my whole life. They didn't teach us about sex was fucking Satan, and we weren't allowed to talk about or do any of this shit, and that's why you wind up with people who want to eat women.
I guess the other side of it, some parents would say, well, I would rather have those discussions with my kid than the classroom. But the problem is we're not educated enough to I don't know what is proper yet to tell my kid. I mean, we're learning as we go.
Right.
But no one gives you a fucking handbook and tells you that you got to start this early.
That lady's right. They're old enough to make love.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. Like, just in school. Why school is that? Why? It's why these teachers get paid. I don't know. Especially my family. Where I grew up, like my dad tried to give my 2-week-old baby a garlic knot the other day. Like, they're fucking idiots.
Because you just don't know.
You just don't know.
Let's go to let's push play here and listen to Ducey.
But at age 4.
Shocking.
Yeah, not at age 4 and not in school. I mean, I think the important thing here is that a parent has the right to decide when and how they discuss these issues with their child.
That's right. I just want to also say that we're not high.
No, it's not a fair.
Because some parents do, I guess, get all squeamish about it. It's not a bad point, is what I'm saying.
How about this? Because some parent stinks at it. The kid's gonna have to suffer because someone doesn't know what's going on in his underpants, so he's grabbing everybody's tits. Parents can shut the fuck up and home educate, or they gotta learn it. It's just sex. It's almost like parents go, "We don't want our kids learning math when they're 7; they're too young."
Yeah.
So enough already. That's the parents' decision. Then homeschool your kid like Jim Brewer does.
Yeah.
Jim Brewer has the right to say that because Jim homeschooled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
We're
be
just giving them more information.
Sherry, let Whitney finish her thought, please.
Thank you. I mean, this whole thing, the Dutch model, is about teaching it in school and having these conversations in a group setting with an educator. I'm a parent. I would want to have that conversation with my child. I'm the person who knows best when they're ready to have that talk and how we want to have that discussion with them. And I think that the sheer idea that a teacher or in a group setting is a better place to have this talk with a child is disturbing. And frankly is another example of trying to take the responsibility for these things away from the parent. I think we need to be very aware of
Parents
the
are
fact that it is
shitty
our role
people,
as parents
though.
to have these talks, not the role of the public.
Jimmy makes a good point. There's a lot of shitty parents out there, so there's no guarantee that the parents are going to have the proper discussion with their children. Yeah. There's no guarantee whatsoever. If you could tell me that every parent is going to sit down their kids and have the discussions as they develop, then fine. But the problem is a lot of these parents are really shitty and never get to that conversation because they got their own fucking hang-ups. My mom would not talk about sex with me whatsoever.
I'm all fucked up now because I have a kid, and now I'm all fucked up. But what am I supposed to do?
How old?
She's 2 weeks old, but I'm already
just
thinking.
change the fucking diapers and relax for a while.
Holy shit!
Oh, give it a year. You're good for a year.
A year? I don't know what I'm gonna fucking do.
When they start walking, then come talk to me. Right now, just change those fucking diapers and deal with not sleeping. That's your whole job right now.
All right.
I'm serious. It boils down to that.
Yeah, because I'm like zoning out listening to this because I'm like, fuck, what if my kid one day asks me about it? What am I supposed to say?
I'll talk to
Remember the
Uncle
egg?
Jimmy.
You're in the egg stage. Just protect the egg. That's all you need to do right now.
That's it.
You protect the egg. You say, look, feel these 2 eggs. They're in a special pouch. Kiss the eggs.
Yeah.
Let's get to the end of this Ducey thing.
I ain't finished.
Okay.
Make the eggs,
Sherry?
cup the eggs a little bit and make them shoot a little eggnog on you. Yeah, you rub the eggs in their little sack. That's how you educate. Steve Ducey's an idiot. I like the other lady. Teach them when they're 4. Let Mr. Hargis walk in. Straighten them out in the crib. Go ahead, girl's name.
I do agree that we have a role in the household for our moral compass, but I do believe that children are so bombarded with so much information that this information is guided, and we can guide our children through these terms. I just had to explain to my daughter what transsexual was based on all this information.
How old is your daughter?
She's 11 years old.
Okay.
And the children are saying when they're younger, yeah, I like this one. Maybe I'm gay. Maybe I'm not. Children say crazy things. And I think that we need a group of people to help them and guide them through.
All right. Whitney, I think at age 11, a lot of kids do have questions because they have smartphones and stuff like that. But at age 4, you would think that most parents would not allow kids to be on the internet to fish around for stuff that's gross.
Exactly. There's a big difference between a 4-year-old and an 11-year-old. And as I was reading the recommendations made on the PBS show, one of them was to have kids at age 4 or 5 labeling genitalia on a map, on a diagram of the human body. And I think that there are a lot of things that are brought to light by having young children do that they're just not prepared for.
I hate those
Maybe
maps.
that is something that an 11-year-old can handle, but definitely not my kindergartner.
All right. Great discussion, ladies, this morning. Whitney and Sherry, we thank you both for joining us live. Folks out there in TV land, what do you think about starting at age 4? PBS going from Big Bird to, well, you know, email us. Meanwhile, a circus.
Did Steve Ducey say that?
There's nothing he said there about Bruce Jenner.
He said.
Where's the only reason we played that video because he says in this discussion, I didn't hear it.
They said gross is tied into Bruce Jenner.
He said transsexuals and stuff that's gross. That's what people were.
I didn't hear that in there.
When did he say
After
that?
she said her 11-year-old.
That this information is guided, and we can guide our children through these terms. I just had to explain to my daughter what transsexual was based on all this information.
How old is your daughter?
She's 11 years old.
Okay.
And the children are saying when they're younger, yeah, I like this one. Maybe I'm gay. Maybe I'm not. Children say crazy things. And I think that we need a group of people to help them and guide them through.
All right, Whitney, I think at age 11, a lot of kids do have questions because they have smartphones and stuff like that. But at age 4, you would think that most parents would not allow kids to be on the internet to fish around for stuff that's gross.
See, he didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
He wasn't talking about transsexuals.
He was
being
just saying gross stuff in general.
Sex stuff, and I don't think he was.
I owe Steve Ducey an apology.
Well, people were upset because of what he had said about transsexuals earlier, that kids shouldn't know about them at an early age, and then they were more pissed when he said
I didn't
stuff
hear him
that's
saying
gross.
that.
I didn't hear him say any of that stuff.
I don't like Steve Ducey, but I didn't hear him saying that.
Yeah, I don't think he was out of line whatsoever with his comments, and he's allowed to be out of line, I guess. But
yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I call him a Fox News hack because it's like being a CNN or an MSNBC hack. Like you're just towing the conservative. Like you fucking idiot.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
That was a who cares.
He shouldn't get in any trouble.
Who cares video.
I don't like his tie.
And Steve, the one on the right, the blonde, looks like she could. Like if she was a transsexual a little bit, right? A little transsexual-ish.
It's making you question everything, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, she looks like she looks like
she could be transitioning. Like she's at the final stage.
A little bit. She looked like
sure.
Like
Olympic athlete.
She looks like she's 80% there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She looks like her face is a little chiseled. I could see that.
All right, we got to get Chris DiStefano back on set.
Gotta go.
You come back and see us soon, Chris?
Love to.
We get Ben Mesrich in here.
Yeah, we're going to get him in next.
Guy went to Harvard, right?
Yeah,
he's fucking smart.
How long
guy.
does he have?
No, probably an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
a smart guy.
Yeah, Ben's very good. He's got another book. He's pretty much writing a book a year at this point.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's really depressing.
And each book is being turned into a movie quickly. This one is already being turned into a movie. It's not even out yet.
Fucking Ben. Good guy.
Unbelievable. Brett Ratner, I think, is going to do the movie or something like that. I think there's a connection with Brett Ratner. I'll ask him when he gets in here. Ben Mesrich next. Don't forget, Jim Norton's tickets go on sale at 10 o'clock today for Charlotte.
CLT. I just Twittered it and Facebook the link. The password is CHIP, all lowercase. Because why wouldn't it be case sensitive? How do you stop with fucking case sensitive passwords? CHIP.
It's going to be a problem.
Yes, because someone's going to enter it and go, password doesn't work. It didn't work if we capital C, it didn't work.
Why would they do that, actually?
It's so fucking stupid.
You don't really need to protect that password.
No, it's fucking passcode to a show no one's going to fucking care about.
You're trying to get everyone to go and use the passcode, so why wouldn't you make it as easy as possible? Just spell CHIP.
That's it.
All lowercase with an umlaut.
You do make a very good point. All right, JimNorton.com for all the tour dates. Ben Mesrich next. He's an entertaining fellow that certainly has a few stories to tell every time he's in here, so stick around.
Opie and Jim are back.
Where's Ben? Let's get Ben Mesrich in here. Our pal Ben Mesrich. We've been talking to him for years. What's up, Ben? Welcome, buddy.
I'm back. Am I here?
That's Jimmy's. You can sit over there or over here, wherever you feel comfortable. Yeah, sit over there.
Sit on this side.
Another book, my God.
A new one, the big one.
This is the big one. You talked about this last...
This is the only book that I've ever done that's kind of important, which scares me.
What do you mean?
I mean, I always do subjects that are
pull the mic.
Yeah. I always do subjects that are less serious, you know?
Yeah.
And then Russian oligarchs and Putin, where Putin came from. It's not the kind of thing I would normally do.
Yeah, it probably scared you a little bit to take on this topic.
There were moments that it was we had some terrifying moments in terms of the process. Not I'm going to get murdered moments, but wow, this is bigger than something I've ever been involved with.
And you really wanted to write this one.
Well, I mean, Brett Ratner brought me into this story, basically. He just called me up out of the blue and was like, come to London, I want you to talk to some people. And so I went to London not knowing what the story was or who I was even talking to.
Well, how about you ask a few questions before you get on that plane?
Well,
why is everything so mysterious with you?
Because he didn't want to, because he knew, because if he had just said, I want you to meet some Russian oligarchs, that I would have said,
oh, okay. You would have said, hell no.
Right. So I literally flew out there, and I got there, and there was like 60 security people and like armored cars, and we went into a bar, and I immediately, was like, start hearing the story, and I was like, no fucking way. That was my response. But I just kept meeting and hearing the story, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but how did Brett Ratner?
So Brett knows a lot of these people socially.
But how?
The boats in St. Bart's and the whole that world. But also, there's a lot of Russian money in Hollywood, right? There's so much production money going on through Hollywood, and these oligarchs are everywhere now. I mean,
what's the definition of an oligarch?
So an oligarch specifically was this group of men, and at one time it was 7 of them, but it's extended since then, who, when communism fell and capitalism was kind of forced in place, essentially took over all of the industry in Russia. So at one point in time, 7 men owned 50% of Russia's GDP.
Didn't Putin scold those guys recently or something?
Yes.
What was that for?
Well, there's a couple times he's gone after them. But basically, the opening of my book is this real situation. They placed Putin in power because they thought he was a nobody, that they could control him. They found him. He was a low-level KGB agent in St. Petersburg who had helped the main character of this book set up a car dealership. That's how they met Putin, essentially. Yeltsin was dying, and they needed to install a new president of Russia. So they picked Putin.
He wasn't a high-level KGB guy?
Low-level KGB agent. They thought we could control this guy, and essentially he was not who they thought he was. As soon as he took power, he invited all of the oligarchs to Stalin's old house, where you could see like bullet holes in the wall where people had been shot. And he sat them at a table, and he said, "You've all made a lot of money. You've all got, a lot of power. You can keep all of your money, but stay out of my way." And from that moment on, the oligarchs realized that Russia had changed, and Putin basically took over.
The original 7, did they know each other?
Yeah, they all knew each other, and there was a big decision to make.
What were they doing before they realized
what's really
they had
crazy,
a
all
great
these guys
opportunity?
were nobodies. They were outsiders.
Okay.
They were young people. Roman Abramovich was an orphan from Siberia who made children's toys. Hey. Boris Berezovsky was a mathematician who basically couldn't go to. He was Jewish, and they didn't let Jews into regular schools in Russia, so he had to go to a special Jewish school. They were a bunch of black market people who were not anybody. And essentially, when Yeltsin took over, he and his daughter Tatiana basically chose who would get what, who would get the oil company, who would get the aluminum company, who would get, and these young people with nothing essentially became billionaires overnight.
How long was Yeltsin in power?
Yeltsin in power for 3 consecutive terms, essentially. So it was probably a total of, I'm going to get the years right, from like 90-ish to 98.
Was he more powerful than Putin?
Or even 2000. He was very powerful, but the country was
collapsing around him.
He had power, but his power was always precarious. Like every election, he almost lost. The communists almost retook Russia a number of times. So the reason they did this, the reason they gave all of these businesses away, is they were so afraid of communism that they thought the only way to keep communism from coming back is to immediately become capitalist. So they said, if we can give our oil company away to a private person, communists can't take it back.
Right.
And so that was the reason for all this.
And these guys had no money and became billionaires.
Well, very little, very quickly. Like you would come in, and the way the deal would work is there would be an auction for like the oil company, but it would be a completely rigged auction. So you'd know who was going to win the oil company. And a bank would put up the money for your bid. And then when you took over the oil company, you'd pay the bank back the money. So there was no risk to anybody. And essentially it was just getting everyone to align to agree to it. But there were a lot of bodies. I mean, thousands of businessmen were murdered in this period, because if, you wanted something and someone was in your way, there was only one way to get there. Yeah.
So you meet these guys in Russia. Brett Ratner flies you in.
Well, London.
Oh, London.
They're all exiled. They're exiled.
Yeah, they had to get out.
Well, so the main character of this story is a guy named Boris Berezovsky, who was found hanging a year and a half ago in his bathtub. Did
he do it, or is it someone else?
Well, it was ruled a suicide. But
Why would he kill himself?
Well, so he got into
Why
a
do they
battle.
think he killed himself?
He got into a battle with Roman Abramovich and lost all of his money, lost all of his billions, lost this huge legal trial, and had to pay all the court fees, and was essentially bankrupt.
Yeah, he killed himself.
Multiple wives. Right.
Yep, he killed himself.
Multiple wives had divorced him. He was in a really bad state. He had to sell off his paintings and his art, and he was depressed. And supposedly the week before, he had been exiled by Putin because he went up against Putin. He was one of the oligarchs who, after that meeting, said, no, I'm going to stay. He was known as the godfather of the Kremlin. He said, I don't want to leave. And essentially he lost that battle. So on the week before his death, he wrote a letter to Putin saying, I want to come back home. I'll just teach math somewhere. Something like that. And then he was found hanging a week later.
Did Putin say no or yes? Or
Putin never responded. There was no response. But, it was debated back and forth in London whether he had been murdered or killed himself. There was a huge investigation with hundreds of, whatever they have in version CSI or whatever. And they didn't really find any real evidence one way or the other. But he was, his friends think he was murdered. But most of the people who know the story think he committed suicide.
Well, he had a lot of reasons to kill himself.
Yeah, he lost. I mean, when you go from $3 billion to zero, it's a hard road, I think.
And Putin said, stay out of my way. So most of the guys did end up just staying out.
So certain ones of them, like Roman Abramovich, can go back to Russia. He's still very successful. But others of them just left the country or were chased out of the country. All the stories are in here. But it's basically, Putin was surprised everybody by how incredibly powerful he became almost overnight. He's an intense individual. I mean, you look at him, and he's not someone you mess with, right?
So Brett Ratner doesn't tell you you're going to meet these guys.
Right.
He says, come to London. I want you to meet some guys, possibly for maybe a book.
Right. And Brett had pitched me stories before, and they were always like scary. He'd pitch me something about Miami gun runners, and I'd be like, Brett, how dangerous? And he goes, on a scale of 1 to 10 and 8. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Or he's like, or I want you to meet this guy. He's in prison for murder. I'm like, I don't want to meet this guy. So over the years, he was one of the producers on 21, my Vegas story. So that's how I knew Brett. But I'd never done anything with him.
He's a fascinating guy, Brett.
Oh, Brett's awesome. I mean, he's doing this movie. I have another movie with him, Seven Wonders.
Oh,
so
do you?
Working with him for a little while, and he's an amazing guy. The energy level and
Someone on Twitter last night begged me to ask you, is there going to be a follow-up to Seven Wonders?
Yes, I'm writing a second one, and we're working on the movie. The script is done. It's going to be with Fox, and the goal is it's like an Indiana Jones, and I want to do multiple books. But I've got the proposal ready for the second book. So I'm going to write it, but I haven't written it yet.
You're having a hell of a run. So you go to London.
Right. So I fly to London.
And Ratner, now you're realizing you're meeting these guys. What's going through your head?
Yeah. So like, as I walk in, I'm like, okay, this is not something I want to be involved with. Like immediately I was like, not that I was, but you read stories and you're like, these are scary people. And I write about Vegas or Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is not going to scare me very much. Although he probably should. But anyways, I walk in and I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I kept, talking to them, and I heard this story, and it was really, it's amazing. I mean, it's a thriller. It's very Sopranos-y, but it's not that they're mobsters. They were businessmen in this chaotic environment, and they were smart people. Like these weren't, ruffians or whatever you want to call them. They were like brilliant kind of maneuverers who built these massive businesses. And I was like, I really like this. So I kept meeting, and I was like, I think I'm going to do it.
You had to meet with them a few times?
A number of times, not just them, but like other sources. And then I got a hold of these court documents. I'll tell you, I was sitting with all these Russians, and this very large Russian man walked up behind me and just stuck his hand in my pocket. And he said, don't look, and walked away. And I was like, I don't know what he just put in my pocket. And then I got back to the hotel, and it was a computer key card thing, and it had all of the court documents, so thousands of pages of court documents. Berezovsky sued Abramovich for $5.6 billion, the largest lawsuit in history.
What was the lawsuit about?
About this oil company. So Abramovich was this young man. He was 26 years old. He met Boris Berezovsky on a yacht in the Caribbean, and he said, I want to start an oil company. And Berezovsky was the godfather of the Kremlin. So they started together, and Berezovsky became what's called his krysha, which is his roof. So the way it works in Russia is you need a protector. So there's no contracts. There's no like written shares agreement. Right. His roof protected him physically and politically. So when Berezovsky was exiled, he couldn't be the roof anymore. So Abramovich said, I don't need you anymore. And he wrote him a check for $1.3 billion. He gave it to him on an airfield, on a helicopter field in Megève, France. It's a really cool scene. And here's $1.3 billion to go away. So Berezovsky took the $1.3 billion, and then Abramovich sold the company for $13 billion. So Berezovsky felt, well, I should get half of that company. There's no reason why he doesn't get any shares of the company, but he demanded half. And consequently, he ended up suing and then was found hanging. So anyways, there's a kind of a crazy story there.
So he got greedy. The guy gave him $1 billion.
$billion.
And this cocksucker wanted more.
I know. You would
Let's
think
not blow off the
$1 billion.
0.3, by the way.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
$100 million.
0.3. That's the funny thing. It's 0.3. Oh, that's just the rounding up.
Why the fuck would
error.
you get greedy?
You would think
you would
that,
never spend $1.3 billion.
You would think it would be impossible to spend.
But he lost all. How did he lose his money?
So
then?
he attempted to basically foment revolution against Putin from London. So he moves to London. He decides, I'm going to still go after Putin. He was funding all of these different things. He also lived this incredibly lavish lifestyle. We're talking like the multiple jets and the helicopters and multiple girlfriends and all over and multiple divorces. And so he ended up going through the billions
How'd
of dollars.
How'd you say $3 billion, though? Where's the rest of it? You said he went through $3 billion?
Well, no, he went through, at his height, he had $3 billion. When he ran from Russia, he had to leave a lot behind. So he owned Aeroflot, a piece of Aeroflot, their airline. He owned the car company, which made the Lada, which is that Russian car. And he owned their main television station.
So if he literally would have just stopped being a dick, he would have had $3 billion in Russia.
If he had basically okayed Putin, first of all, if he had said, okay, you're in control now, he would be one of the wealthiest men in the world.
And he could have just taken his money and
then
left.
Even when he went to London, if he had simply been, I'm just going to live in London with my $1 billion, he would have been a billionaire.
But he could have sold the stuff that was worth $3 billion and left Russia and had $3 billion.
Well, no, they wouldn't have let him take all that money. They would have, once they kick you out, they take.
No, but I mean, if he would have played ball with them and then
if he had
just
played
sold
ball,
it
he would have had his money
and sold it and quietly left without fucking with Putin.
He wouldn't even had to leave. If he had basically said Putin's in control, he would have had his money.
That's just greed.
I mean, you have to basically.
It
becomes.
What happens in your head? I guess it becomes a game, and it's not officially about the money anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes just numbers. You look at the Facebook kids, and I mean, how many billions of dollars, and it's like you would think $500 million. I mean, well, how much money can you legitimately spend in one lifetime? But the reality is, once you get there, you want to keep going,
you just want more and more.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a wild, wild story. So, we had a couple wild meetings where Brett and I were sitting at the table, and at one point, Brett turned to this guy, and he's like, "Are we going to get killed for writing this, doing this?" And the guy's like, "You watch too many movies." And then Brett goes, "Well, what if we say the wrong thing?" And he said, "Well, don't say the wrong thing." So a lot of this book, is written in a way. Putin is not a bad guy in this story, because in the scope of this story, it was the oligarchs and him and kind of a rivalry going on. But it's written as a thriller. It's really like James Bondy.
So you're pumping this up a bit.
I want it to be looked at a certain way. It's not a Russian history, because I'm not a Russian historian.
It's based on real stories and facts, but you're kind of pumping it up.
But it's not the book you would expect about Russia. Because, normally Russian books are like 2,000 pages long, and it's like...
Where's Russia at these days?
Well, Russia's
same
kind
place.
of...
They haven't moved it.
Yeah, they're pretty much there.
Oh, shit.
They have a lot of issues with money, because oil went down the tubes, and then because they invaded the Ukraine, we sanctioned... everybody's been sanctioning the hell out of them. So they're in a precarious position. I think Putin's in the most precarious position he's been in his career. Which is why he's acting out in such a strong way.
Is he a good maneuverer? He's one of those guys who knows how to...
Yeah, he's intense. I mean, he's the guy, and he's beloved. Like, they love him there.
Oh, they do?
They love him. He's got huge, much bigger approval rating than any president that we've ever had.
Why do they love him so much?
Because he's strong, and he's like, you see him on a horse with no shirt on, or wrestling
no shirt
bears, or like, that's the guy you want leading a place like Russia.
Right.
And they look at him, he does everything for Russia. Like, whatever you think about him, and he hates, all these certain things, right? The West and all that stuff. But that in Russia isn't necessarily a bad thing.
There you go. There he is, shirtless on a horse.
Right. The shirtless horse picture. I mean, that's a real leader.
Do him and Obama have a good relationship?
I don't think they do. My understanding, I don't know anything. I'm not. If you look at any kind of meetings they have, they don't seem to have any relationship.
How long did it take you to write this one?
This was a good year of work to do, and so it was long for me.
You got two small kids. How do you do it?
I have two little kids. It's round the clock.
Daddy needs his writing time. Does that work in your house?
I write at night. I write early in the morning. I write. I go.
Are you one of those guys like I get up extra early just so I have time to myself?
I mean,
I sacrifice sleep on weekends because I know I get a good 2 hours to do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do. But me, it's more like middle of the night, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, kind
Instead
of
going to
do
bed.
stuff.
Right.
And then I wake up early. But you just do it when you can. And then
how many hours a day do you write for?
It depends where I'm. If I'm in the midst of a book, I write by page. So I try and write like 14 pages a day in the midst of a book.
And all right, say you write 14 pages a day. Out of those 14 pages, how much of that will actually end up in the book on average?
End up in the book. So I have a different kind of process where I do all the research. Everything is done, outlines and everything before I start writing. So when I'm writing, everything I'm writing pretty much goes. And in the end, you have a book, and then an editor will get their hands on it. But usually, it's pretty much there.
Wait, you do an outline? See, I've never written anything like fictional like that. You do an outline where you kind of know.
I know the pages, the amount of pages per chapter. Like I write a very specific outline. So every chapter is like, this is what happens in this chapter, and I write like 2 sentences about it, but then I have how many pages it's going to be. And so I have the entire book plotted out before I start.
What if you go on a tangent? Sorry, what if you go on a tangent?
Yeah, and then recreate.
I've always found that, and again, I've never created a story like this, but sometimes the tangents that I've gone off on have been more interesting than actually what I planned on writing. So how do you ever screw yourself
the thing
out of
is, first of all, I mean, with the true stories, your kind of guideline is the reality, so you can't go too far off. But there are times when you're like, it would be interesting to go this direction. But usually all my research at that point is already done, and I know what's in the story, so the tangents don't happen as much. When I'm writing fiction, no, even then I'm pretty much strict. I have to follow an out. I'm very good at taking orders. I would have been good in these authoritarian societies. I would have been
OCD or no?
I'm not technically diagnosed, but I certainly have a lot of rituals. And like at one point I was writing a book and I ate the exact same meal every meal for 6 weeks.
James Caan, fucking Misery.
I know, yeah, like Misery.
What was the meal?
It was a turkey sandwich. I literally ate a turkey sandwich twice a day for months. And then I get to a point where, I am very ritualistic. And I'm very like, I guess OCD. Like when
you
I
said
fly,
the number of pages you got, that's
when I fly, I have to have a magazine open to a smiling person the whole flight.
All right, you have
like,
OCD.
Absolutely.
But it's like magical thinking.
Ben Mesrick is nuts.
Not. I mean, just a little neurotic. I consider it a little. It's not life hampering. It doesn't have to be life hampering to be an.
Why do you need a smiling face coming out of the magazine?
I don't know.
That's what you want to see is plummeting into the ocean.
Woman. It's always a woman's face. It's not a guy's face. A smiling woman's face.
And is there a sense of relief when you find that page, like, I got my smiling
woman.
Like
I'm good
now.
About, but there is a weird sense where sometimes you forget your magazine and you get, and all you have is that thing that's in the back of the seat, and it's like the Sky Mall catalog, and then it's like some person trying on these huge slippers or something, and you're like, this is not a great smiling person. And also, I'm like, are they really happy? And I have to look at their face, and they have to be actually happy. And a lot of the models don't look actually happy.
What happens if you don't find this?
I haven't had the flight yet where I haven't found one, so I've always had a smiling
everything
face.
Makes sense as soon as you find the smiling
everyone on
face.
that plane should be thankful that I find that
other
smiling
people's
face.
magazines to find the smiling face.
I'm very careful about getting a magazine before I get on the plane.
And you go, okay, I think People Magazine will have a smiling face.
No, it's like it's always like Shape magazine.
Okay,
it's like, and I'm always like, is this person next to me thinking, are you actually reading Shape magazine on your phone?
I love this stuff.
Yeah, Ben's insane.
No, I just have I have like my certain things. But in general, I think my lifestyle is not ruled by my neuroses, but I do have certain neuroses.
It keeps you strict and disciplined as a writer.
Yes. I used to play backgammon with myself for 30 minutes before I started writing each day. Like I play both sides and play, or I have bizarre kind of rituals to get into it. It gets your mind like blank, basically. Like I need to have like a blank mind when I start writing each day.
So you can actually sit down in the middle of, I'm always fascinated with this and just start writing, like, and go, okay, this is my job and now I'm writing. And what are you doing to get stuck? I mean, I'm sure everyone gets stuck. What's your way of getting out of being stuck?
I don't ever get stuck when I'm writing. I get stuck like in between projects where you're like, I just don't want to start. And then you go like months watching television, right? And but when I actually starting a book, I don't get stuck during the writing of it.
How about during the outline process?
No. I mean, when I'm going, it's like a train that goes. I have a lot of tricks too. Like you always stop your day of writing in the middle of a sentence. Like, so you're writing along in a chapter and you know where the chapter's going to go, but you stop right in the middle of a sentence. So the next day when you start again, it's easy to start because you're starting right in the middle of a sentence.
Oh,
like little tricks like that that I've developed over the years.
Have you ever started writing a book and got pretty far into the process and then said, nope, and just bailed on the whole thing?
You know, no, my decision-making factor, I've researched into a book. So someone will email me. So all my books come pitched to me. I never go after a story. So someone will email me and like, this is a great, I did copious amount of drugs and made millions of dollars and I'm the next Wolf of Wall Street or something like that. And then I would like, oh yeah, this sounds interesting. And I start talking to the guy and I'll interview the guy and then maybe I'll fly somewhere and then I'll be like, you know what? I don't buy it, or this guy's a scumbag, or some reason why I don't want to write it, and I stop.
So
I've never actually started the book and then stopped halfway into it.
We got Brooke Burke. Is that a real smile on Shape Magazine?
Yeah, I got to look carefully. Yeah, I think that's a good smile. I would definitely use that.
You'd be okay with that.
And I
smile.
like it when it's on the cover, so because if you're on the cover,
makes it easy. You don't have to search too far.
You don't have to look like you're looking at Shape Magazine.
Oh,
Not that I have anything against Shape Magazine.
So you have to keep looking at the smile
every time. Often during the flight. Yeah, you have to just make sure it's.
Well, here's what he does. Here's his trick. He turns it inside out and he puts it in that seat thing in the front of him and just glances down.
Yeah, you have to, right? Yeah, or it's like underneath your your other things, like just sticking out there. You can just see this.
And what's a perfect chapter as far as pages?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that short chapters are better. I like
absolutely
a 4 or 5 page chapter would be awesome.
I just went through your book, and that's why I asked. Most of these chapters are 5 pages. I noticed that right away.
That's my goal. Is 4
and that's
or 5
perfect because
pages.
you can. When I read a book, I want to knock out a chapter, and when you start looking ahead and going 12 more fucking pages before this. And that's where my OCD comes in, because I feel like I gotta always finish a chapter. I can't stop in the middle of a chapter. So when you guys do a nice 4 or 5 pager, that's perfect.
That's right. I'm writing for you.
Perfect.
I know. I agree. I want a 4 or 5 page chapter. I once wanted to try and do like a 1 page chapter all the way through, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull it off because you couldn't get enough information. But I agree. That's a big deal.
No, because if the chapters are too short, then I go, you know what? I got to read another chapter.
Right. No, I like the short chapter as well. I think the shorter the better. Yeah.
I write a 1 chapter book. This is chapter 1, everything.
And comfortable space between the lines. I noticed you do that too. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if that was me or the publisher, but yeah,
it's comfortable.
A lot of people say I write for people who don't read. So
and let's talk font.
I know. And how many books you got lined up that you're going to go into next?
So I have another project. I have a couple.
Seven Wonders, you said.
7 Wonders is going to be a movie, and I'm going to write a second book of that. I have a book that I just sold called The 37th Parallel, which I'm just starting now, which is going to be a movie. Bo Flynn is doing, the guy who just did San Andreas Fault. And it's like a really cool Close Encounters story. So it's a real life story about a guy who is a sheriff's deputy in El Paso, Colorado, who started to look into weird things. And he went to an animal mutilation site. I don't know if you know anything about animal mutilation.
It's UFO stuff.
Yeah, but like there's been 8,000 or 9,000 animal mutilations over the past 50 years where the animals are found like in the same, they're lying on their side, missing an eyeball, there's no blood, they're like burned but like missing organs, and no one's ever been arrested, there's never been any reason behind it, and it goes back to the 40s. So it's really bizarre. And so this guy got into this, and I don't want to give away too much, but that will be a book next year.
Well, let's go into this part of it. So you start researching the guy, and you're like, oh my, and now you're hooked.
I'm hooked, and I start meeting with them and talking to him, and then I'm like,
did you see any of the animal mutilations?
Yeah, it's weird.
Like fresh ones?
Not like just done yesterday, but yeah, fresh enough that their body is still there and everything like that. I guess the photos are weird. I got to show you the photos. It's weird stuff.
And is it happening all over the world?
No, that's why it's called the 37th Parallel.
Well.
There's something going on in the Midwest, which is kind of interesting. But listen, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I believe in aliens. I don't believe in all that, aliens and ghosts and things like that. But I do believe in certain types of things,
It's just people doing this. You don't think it's people doing this?
It probably is, but why and how? Those are the questions that haven't been answered. And it's not just kids. Some of them are just kids pulling off a stunt. Let's go blow up this cow. That's fun, right? But there's also something bigger going on, I think. But anyways, it's not about animal mutilation. It's more about, this guy's obsession. So if you watch the movie Close Encounters, I always love that, like when you get obsessed with something completely crazy. And
like
I think
mashed potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of story. And then we're making my book Ugly Americans into a TV show with FX and Jerry Bruckheimer. And the Asian expat story. I think it came on a long time ago to you with this one, but it's about an American kid who goes to Tokyo and gets caught up in the sex underground there, and then makes a single deal that makes $500 million in 5 minutes. And it's all about expats in Asia. So it's going to be like Entourage in Asia kind of thing.
That sounds
and
cool.
we're shooting it, hopefully later this year in Tokyo.
Are you rich now?
No, writers don't. No, writers don't.
Rich.
No, that's
Ben's
really not
filthy
true.
rich. Where you live in Boston?
I live in Boston.
Where?
I live in the Prudential Center in the mall. I live in the mall. I've never bought anything in my life.
That's a nice building, though.
And I rent everything. I've never bought anything in my entire life that costs more than $5,000.
Why?
Ever. I've never done it. I'm not like.
But you're wasting money on rent when you could actually.
I've been renting. I lease a car. I've never bought anything. I don't live
There's
like
value in real estate.
I agree. If I had done it, I'd be. I'm not a smart businessman. Let's put it that way. But I'm not. Writers. Movies is a good. Everything has to be connected to a movie now. I feel like.
How many books have you written?
This will be 17th book.
Wow.
But only a couple of them people read, right? A few of them have been big.
Well, Bringing Down the House.
Bringing Down the House and the Social Network
21.
one.
Social Network.
Those were big, and then a few of them were medium, and then.
Well, Seven Wonders.
Seven Wonders do very well, and then this Russia one.
Are you hoping that's your kind of like your Harry Potter series?
We always hope it's your Harry Potter, right? I hope every book's my Harry Potter series.
Does every writer
50 Shades of Grey, right?
Every writer have that? Like
incredible competitive anger that you didn't write Harry Potter
Games or something.
This is my Da Vinci Code. Everybody wants that.
But there was a really nice buzz on Seven Wonders.
Yeah, Seven Wonders is going to be a really cool movie. I think it's going to be awesome. And then I think this movie actually will happen first, though, because this movie is moving very quickly at Warner's. So I like to see this one happen right away.
You need, by the way, to get like a Harry Potter, it's got to be appealing to kids. Like to something like that. Like I have a series I'm working on. It's called Blumbar Blumbar the Shitting Chimp, and it's about a cute little chimp that just throws shit in everybody's face.
I like it. I like it.
Blumbar the Shitting Chimp, and I want that to be a big hit with the kids.
On Nickelodeon, I could see that on Nick Jr.
Yeah, he's mean and he bites the faces off of people. He's like that ornery one in fucking Connecticut.
Oh yeah,
but he just does it a lot.
He does it a lot. Everyone who tries to pet him, he throws shit in their face and then bites their nose off.
Why don't they just lock up this chimp and be done with it?
They do, but he keeps getting out. He's a clever boy.
Smart.
He's clever.
Yeah, Blumbar is clever.
Blumbar is clever.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Who are you hoping will be in the movie?
Yeah. Who's the star?
Like
what's that?
Who are you hoping to be in the movie?
I don't know.
Because something like that will be picked up in Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm hoping like Scarlett Johansson. I want her to do like a really weird gender role. I want her to play the ornery old cop that chases Blumbar. It'll be like everyone will be talking about it. Like in the book, it's like a guy like Rod Steiger, played by Scarlett Johansson. Okay. Everyone will be going nuts.
It could work.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, book business in general is a different world than it was 10 years ago. In
what way?
I don't know. I feel like now it's celebrities is where the majority of books are.
It's just,
and then there are readers, but it's all electronic, so you can't really tell what anyone's reading. It's not like where you go on the train and you see 10 people reading your book.
I'm old school. I like having a book in my hands.
Yeah, me too.
I like the smell of it.
You like the smell?
Books. Brand new book.
I like just carrying
my nose in it.
I like just carrying my book around.
Carry your book
That's
around.
what I hate about it. I hate carrying a book.
Right.
No, I mean, here and there, nothing like that.
I'm lazy. I want to hire someone to carry my books. Just a woman who will carry my books and then drain my cum.
Yeah. You need to train your shitting chimp to do that.
Yes, Blumbar also masturbates his handlers.
It's hard to find bookstores to begin with. And then when you go in, you don't know what the fuck to read.
Right. And also the first half
you're right,
is great.
It's all celebrity books.
Right, all celebrities.
And political books.
8th memoir, is going to always win.
But you know what? But some of them are really good.
They are. They're funny. I mean, I loved your book, Jimmy.
Oh, you read it? Thank you.
Yeah, I read it. I carried it with me on a lot of airplanes next to smiling faces, and it was awesome. Yeah. Perverse, and it was kind of that perfect level.
I've done two. I got to do another one because I really miss. I love but I'm not as committed a writer as you are. I can't do it.
Can't lock yourself in a room.
No, man. It's got to just kind of hit me. And I started one about relationships. And then the publisher's like, well, they're kind of going in a different direction. And I gave up on it. No. My girlfriend one time was, Jen, was on the toilet. She was shitting. And she was yelling at me. She was fucking dressing me down. I'm sitting in my bedroom, and she's on the bowl with the door open. And she is nailing me. I mean, she's killing me. and I'm fucking transcribing everything she's saying. I'm like, this is phenomenal because she's so funny, but she wasn't trying to be funny, but she was really accurately giving me a beating and fucking kicking my ass while she was dropping a deuce. And I'm writing everything down, and she had no idea I was doing it. And I'm like, I want this to be the beginning of a book on relationships. And I wish I had pursued
man,
that.
that's
awesome. That's a good
like
opening.
Great start.
Yeah,
I love that you weren't really paying attention to the message.
Right, it was
but
more
making
just-
sure you.
I have it somewhere.
Making sure that you transcribed it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's good.
Sorry, I've talked about shitting a lot today.
Oh,
Did you?
Yeah. What's the name of your book, by the way? Once Upon a Time in Russia.
Once Upon a Time in Russia.
The
Yes.
the oligarchs.
Rise of the
Did I say that?
Oligarchs.
Oligarchs.
Yes.
Sorry, a
Oligarchs.
true story of ambition, wealth, betrayal, and murder.
Yeah, there's some good.
Have you
murder.
been to Russia?
Not in the writing of this book. No.
But
As
you-
a youngster once, but no, I
What year?
I did not go. Oh God, yeah, early 90s, somewhere in the early 90s.
That would probably be a good time to go see Russia, though.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I didn't really. To write this book, it was all back and forth to Europe because a lot of these guys were not there anymore.
Did you get to go on any of the yachts?
I've been on some yachts. Yeah,
Are they
can't
just
go into who specifically was in the book, but I've seen a lot of the big yachts.
Are
and
they just ridiculous?
Ridiculous, like 2 helicopter pads, and there's like a helicopter for luggage. There's like a dance floor and pizza oven and like everything you can imagine. Submarine is the coolest. Everyone's got to have their personal submarine now.
They all have. That's their thing. They all
they're
have
bigger and bigger boats. And Roman Abramovich.
So what do they do?
He has a plane. He has a 767 with a 30-person dining table and the missile defense system.
That's
got
got to cost $200-300 grand.
$300,000. Yeah.
Did he fly on it? Did he put you on it?
No, I haven't been on that jet. No one's been on that jet. No one's ever gotten a picture inside there.
Why?
It's kind of, he's very secretive.
Oh, he's a secretive guy?
Yeah, secretive. But his boat, the Eclipse, a lot of people have seen. You know, it's this incredible yacht. I've been on Paul Allen's boat, which is nuts. If you've ever been on that boat, it's like.
No, because we don't get that opportunity. Like
No, exactly. I'm lucky I can go to Ethan Allen and buy carpeting.
Yeah, he casually says.
The tender, the little boat that takes you to the big boat is bigger than most big boats. And then you get there and there's like a glowing dance floor that like blinks and it's like, it's really nuts. But,
why do these guys need their personal submarines? Just because it's
well,
a
that's
toy?
the thing to have now is a submarine, so you can go on little excursions underneath. And I don't know.
So
you
they
need a
park their
submarine.
yacht and then they jump in their submarine.
No, submarine's in the yacht. It's like there's a bay that opens and the submarine goes out of
No,
the
I
yacht.
get that.
Yeah. So
But I mean, they park their.
No, they float. Yeah, they attach somewhere and they get in their submarine. They go around the bottom and
just tool around.
Come back up and
How
tool
big is
around.
Paul Allen's big boat?
It's big. It's 300.
Is that it right there?
300 and is that the Paul Allen's? Yeah, that's the octopus. That's the octopus. The
Is it
octopus
nice?
is awesome. It is. And you walk around, there's Picassos on the walls, like real. And you're like, wow, this is a crazy place to have a Picasso.
Great place. Yeah, in case
And
the
there's a
boat sinks.
Glass
What a dope.
bottom. There's a glass bottom. Right? You know, you're going to lose all the great art.
Yeah, no, I hope he's got some fucking plastic shit to throw it at in case.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Guy
it's
like that
really
don't
nuts.
care, though.
That's the boat. It's nuts. You walk
I don't
around
think he
there.
would cry over his Pablo.
No, I
his
think he'll
Picasso.
just.
His
yeah.
Picasso.
What's he do for a living?
He did Microsoft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that Paul.
Oh, is he the
Allen.
guy that bought the
Yes. The
what-
basketball team.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that boat.
Yeah, it's a big.
It's called
big
the
boat.
Octopus.
Well, that guy really knows how to enjoy his cash. That's what I would do. Buy a big boat, get blown.
I think it would be a lot cheaper to get blown than buy that boat.
How many people on that boat, you think?
People, oh, God. I don't know. I
Just
mean,
get an
when there's a
8-person
party, there's hundreds of people.
capacity.
Yeah, it's
That's
only
the
one-
downside.
It's a one-bedroom.
Yes.
One bedroom.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's like...
He hangs out in the Cayman
yeah,
Islands.
the crew is like 60. I remember him saying the crew is 60.
60 people to work
60
the
is
boat.
the crew, yeah. That's a big boat.
That's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
What are they?
But it's still a
Robert
boat,
Shaw's
you
the
know? It's a
captain.
boat. It's not like, you know, it's a... Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's cool. But the world of the oligarchs is just on a whole kind of crazy level because these guys, many billions of dollars, but they want to spend it all or get it all out of Russia, which is why all real estate goes crazy in New York and London and places like that because they just put all their money into
They
apartments.
just take their money and go.
Buy $100 million worth of apartments in every city.
Is that why they do that?
Because they got to keep the money safe, right? So you can't leave it there. So also Chinese billionaires are all doing that now too, is they're moving all their money into London, New York.
Just buying stuff.
That's your apartment. So you have a beautiful apartment in New York. If Russia goes bad, you can still go to New York and live in your $100 million
sell it.
apartment, sell it, or you
Buy
should have-
hats.
Buy hats, get all your
a lot
money
of
out.
hats.
So the oligarchs definitely changing. London is 80% oligarch money now. You can't. That's why normal people can't buy apartments there anymore.
Really?
Yeah, all the apartments went. You'd buy they don't buy one apartment, they buy a block. So it's wild. Yeah, it's great.
On your
it's good work if you can get it.
On your one sheet, it says you go to spinning class 5 days a week.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Well, Ben's in good shape.
Spinning.
You are in good shape, Ben. Show off those abs.
I'm not in great shape, but I'm fighting
Show us
against.
what you got.
I'm fighting against a million years of bad evolution. My people are not supposed to be in good shape.
What nationality?
Jewish, Eastern European. I'm made to be. I saw a dermatologist the other day, and she said, "Think of yourself as a vampire." She's like, "Don't even sit next to the window when you work." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not even supposed to go outside."
Why?
But I'm just like a pale, weak person, and so I try and survive.
That's a great opening line on Match.com.
Right.
I'm a pale, weak person,
and I try and survive.
I find smiley faces in magazines to make myself feel
this
better.
Kind of spinning thing. I didn't think I would like it, but I like because you're in the dark and no one can see what you're really doing, and like some music playing.
What's your song?
My song.
What's the one song they put on? You're like, all right, now I can go.
I don't know. I like the
Welcome
90s
to the Jungle.
Music. Yeah,
what do they do for you?
CNC Music Factory.
CNC?
I don't know. Whatever.
Everybody dance
That's
now.
right. I don't know. Whatever they're playing is good. I don't know. I don't know music that well. I don't know any names of songs.
Ben is a very interesting fellow.
No, I'm not. I'm basically been writing for a long. I've been writing so long that I think I have a lot of
Sex on the Moon.
Yes,
that was a good book too.
Yeah, working on that movie right now actually with Will Glick, the guy who did Easy A and Annie.
I forgot that, but that was a good one as well.
That was a good story.
You've had a lot of really good books, Ben.
Yeah, I've had some luck with like really great stories, but I mean the Facebook story is the one that truly exploded, and the MIT story and the Vegas story.
Yeah,
and now the Russia story.
Well, that's what I was turned on to you by Bringing Down the House.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. How those guys,
unbelievable,
fortune in Vegas, and I still go back. I was in Vegas like 2 weeks ago, and it's just
where are they at with counting cards in Vegas?
So you can still card count. You can still get away with it.
I remember learning from you. They kind of want you to count cards because everyone thinks they know how to do it properly. So it actually plays to the casino's favor.
Yeah, they would love you to go out there and try and have a team card counting. And I
started feeling like I could do it after reading your book. I'm like, maybe
my book ruined a lot of people. Everyone read on the way to Vegas, and I'm like, that's the worst time to read my book. Read it on the way home, because if you make one mistake an hour, it's worth the not card counting at all, because you're raising your bet at the wrong time. And casinos will employ a card counter who will sit in the security booth, and if they think you're counting, they'll count along with you. And they'll be like, oh, this guy sucks, send him a drink, because they'll want you to keep going. But yeah, you can still do it. There's still teams out there. There's still an MIT team. There's still a Caltech team. There's a European team that I know about, and they send like 20 college kids out there to
casinos know these guys.
They don't. They figure it out. They don't know them. You work
but they're
for like
still
a few
sending
months,
teams,
and then the casino will figure out a team, and then they'll get busted, and they won't be able to play anymore.
I love when the new scams come out in Vegas. God, someone was telling us one the other day on the show. Does anyone remember about the coffee or something and dropping chips into black coffee?
That? Oh, no, I never heard that one.
Oh, man. Anyone remember this? Travis? No? Adrian?
Someone was cheating with coffee?
I didn't think we were going to talk about this today, so now I got to refresh my memory, but I think it was something like the dealer was in on it with the guy.
Yeah, that's the best way to do all these things, having a dealer in on it.
I think it had something to do where he had his black coffee on the table, and he would go, no, you can't drink your coffee here, and he would
put his
hand over the coffee, and he would be dropping chips in.
That's nice. That's a good one.
But how many times does that work? Once? How many times can you move someone's coffee?
You would think that would only be a one-time thing. I remember dealers using those fake chip cups. That's like a plastic that looks like a stack of chips, but it's actually hollow. And they'll put chips, bigger chips in it, and it looks like a stack of fives. And when you win, it's like actually full of $100 chips. That was one dealers used to use all the time.
And they catch all.
But eventually they catch you. Like the dealers always get caught eventually when they do this stuff.
Yeah, the casino people are geniuses. Like
this is all they have to do is look around.
They're so smart.
Oh, and they're very intent on catching card counters and people who cheat.
I do it with a notebook. And I'll just go, what do you got there? I got a queen, check. And I start checking.
Check, right. 1 queen, 2 3.
That would be a funny sketch to just go there, and then maybe not a funny sketch. Open up a notebook or something, looking at cards and just checking them off.
Yeah, take your phone out.
Sir, you can't.
Yeah, no, they'll catch you for doing that. Yeah, they used to get real serious about it. Yeah, and they actually had that book. It was called the Griffin book because it was the detective agency, and they would put all of the unwanted people. And I remember after 9/11, if you looked at that book, the first 3 people were MIT kids, and then it was like terrorists. So they really put that ahead of everything else in Vegas. Is securing their money is the key there.
I can't find the story.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll find it after you're gone or whatever.
But there's a lot of good schemes. People used to use Geiger counter, little mini, where they would. There was one guy who was like, touching the cards with a little bit of something that gave off isotopes, and they'd have something on their knee that would vibrate when that card went by. And people have done really inventive things.
How do you catch someone doing isotopes?
Yeah, it's, you figure
now they're
it
going to look out for isotopes,
right? Like something. That's how they're marking cards. Like people get really innovative, but in the end, the casino's the worst place to do all these schemes because that's their whole business is built on cameras and watching everything and catching everything.
Why do they always kick out the guy that wins so much money?
Because they don't want that
legally.
When you show up in Vegas, you have an expected loss.
Yeah.
So every person who goes to Vegas is expected to lose $400. And if you're a card counter, you don't lose. And so they
I don't mean those guys. I mean just in general, someone that has a good run with blackjack.
Oh, yeah, because they don't know what you're
kick
doing.
you out of your casino. It's like, what?
Yeah, there was one guy who was winning at roulette. No one could figure it out. And he was winning at different casinos. And eventually they banned him everywhere. And they still never were able to tell him why he was banned. But they don't want someone who's going to win.
How can they just throw you out like that? Like, I know what's it called? The innkeeper's rule or something?
Yeah, private establishment. It's a trespass law. Like if you're in Vegas, in Atlantic City, they can't throw you out because that was taken all the way through the courts.
Yeah, so shouldn't they have to tell you why they're asking you to leave?
Of course.
Yeah, but in Nevada, they're allowed to tell you to leave for any reason they want. It's basically a private establishment. And so they can just kick you out.
So basically, if you're this sounds like a dumb example, but if you're an interracial couple, they could go get it. No. But I mean, why not? What's to stop them from doing that?
Because those are those laws. There's specific laws.
But they don't have to tell you why they're doing it.
I think there's federal laws about that, right?
But that's if they say that's why they're doing it.
Oh, yeah. If they said you're a card counter, I'm going to throw you out.
Or no reason.
Yeah.
We want you two to leave. Why? We don't have to tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, basically, it seems unfair.
Someone should fight that in court. That card counter thing.
There was a couple times it's lost. The people lost because basically it's just using your brain in a casino. This should not be illegal, but they don't want that. They don't want you to use your brain in a casino.
I guess everyone in Vegas has an interest in protecting the casinos.
Yeah, I mean all the way up to the top.
I'm being a naive sweetie.
But if you lose your shirt, come on back.
Come back, yeah.
Come on back. You're welcome here.
That's right. Yeah. When it stops being fun, that's that little thing they hand out, right? A little piece of paper, that anti-gambling thing.
Never got into the gambling. A little bit here and there.
You don't have that.
Only with my health.
That internal.
Jimmy.
only the insignificant things like your life and your health. Yeah. No, I have the gambling bug. I love to gamble. I don't gamble, but I love to. I mean, I get obsessed with it.
And do you feel like you could get out of control with it?
Oh, absolutely. Any money I bring with me into a casino, I'm going to gamble. So I actually don't bring like my wallet with me when I walk around a casino, unless I'm going there to gamble, because I have that gene.
So where's the wallet?
I leave it, in the hotel or whatever. I don't walk around.
You just go back to the
I bring
hotel
a certain amount with me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to gamble this much money.
Yeah, but we've all said that.
No, but just don't bring your cards with you.
And you're like,
But you know what? You won't go back to your room, get your card, and then go back down. Like that, I won't do. Okay. So if I leave the card in the room, you just have.
We've all had those intentions, and I'm like, another $200. What the hell?
What's the
go
big
to the
deal?
ATM.
Chasing, right? Chasing. It's all about.
Thank God I don't have that bug, man. That's so.
Oh yeah.
I don't envy gamblers. That's a real fucking.
It's the worst
one.
addiction because you can come back from most other addictions, but if you lose all your money, it's very hard to come back from that. Sure. People won't give it back to you. So you end up destitute.
Well, Ben,
on a positive note.
No, I love it, man. You always come.
Brilliant writer, man.
You always come prepared with a lot of stories.
I've been coming here a long time. I love it.
Probably at least 10 years now.
Yeah.
How's Boston? You love Boston?
I love Boston. I love the city.
You don't want to leave there.
You know what? I never want to leave. I mean, even with the winters and stuff, it's a great place to write. It's a great writing community, and I have a very simple life. I live in a mall. I like living in a mall.
Makes it easier in those cold winters.
I love the food
You don't have to leave for anything. The mall's right there.
There's a Qdoba. You can go to food court. Food court's great.
Can you go weeks without actually going outside in the winter?
Weeks in the winter.
No problem.
Literally, I go underground everywhere. I can get to New York without going outside.
Is that why you don't buy anything because you gamble so much you're afraid you'll fucking sell your house?
No, I just am one of those everything kind of has to be. I don't like to plan. I'm not good at all that kind of stuff. So everything's pretty simple. Okay. I need it to be simple. I need my life to be simple.
A dealer at the Circus owned Slots A Fun was caught palming a $100 chip in his hand and then dropping it into a half-filled coffee cup. Oh. That might be the story.
Just dropping it into
At least you found something. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate getting me off the hook on that one.
I want to see the security they do in those casinos. The
That would be
advanced
fun.
security that they must employ.
Not just
Oh,
a
it's
guy
crazy,
looking
yeah.
at a whole bunch of
No,
you know,
yeah, I've been
screens.
there. They hire private eyes who follow people around. They have they pay a lot of sources. They use like people sitting at the table at sources, things like that.
What would raise suspicion in a casino if you're doing it?
Well, if you want to get caught for card counting, it's actually very easy. Just raise and lower. You sit down at a blackjack table and start raising and lowering your bet, and they'll think you're a card counter. And like you see a bunch of low cards come out, and then just start raising your bet, and they'll start watching you. But then if you're not actually card counting, they'll figure out that you're just not good at it, and they'll let you keep playing.
But what if, walking around, is there anything you do that makes them suspicious?
Yeah, walking around the casino, there's a lot of things you can do at blackjack. Like you could split tens. If you start splitting tens a lot, that's a card counter move.
Why?
Because most people don't split a 20. Because you already won the hand.
I see, right.
So unless the count is incredibly
But
good.
you'd have to be a
split it?
stupid card counter to do that.
You wouldn't want to do it, but some people employ systems where they do things like that.
So they're behind the scenes and they go, oh, that guy's counting cards, obviously. Right. And then they watch it a little longer and go, oh, but he's horrible at it, so we're not even going to fucking go kick him out. But then they'll find another guy that's card counting well, and they'll make sure to get him out.
Get him out of there. It sucks, right?
Oh,
they want you to be bad, so you got to disguise your play. You make mistakes on purpose sometimes. That's the MIT.
Because this guy has all the confidence in the world because he read one of your books,
right?
And he's losing everything.
I know,
and he's betting way more than he would have if he didn't, get this card counting thing in his mind.
Right.
My brother's a good card counter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took him to Vegas. We made money, but it was just weird.
Yeah.
And he told people.
Then he got in trouble.
Yeah, some girl at the bar, and he was trying to bang her, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm counting cards." I'm like, "What are you doing, Ray? Why would you tell her that?"
Yeah. Did it work though? Did he get the girl?
Yeah, we made some money, but I mean, it was just so stupid to him to go around telling this girl. It's like he wanted to just take her up to the fucking suite and dance with her. I'm like, that's fine. Don't tell her you're counting cards.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun watching them do it. It was just a crazy experience watching it in action, all these tricks and the amount of money they would carry around in cash. And it was fun. It was crazy. But getting kicked out of a casino is like a little less fun. But, it's awesome though.
All right, Ben, the new book, it's going to be a movie and no one has read it yet. That's crazy. It comes out today.
Yes, this is it.
Good
today,
for you.
First stop.
Once upon a time in Russia.
Right.
I'm actually going to read this. I love the last one I read by you was fucking Moon Rock one.
Moon Rocks,
which was great.
Thank you.
Sex on the Moon.
Yeah.
On the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Seven Wonders.
Seven Wonders.
I didn't read Seven Wonders.
But there's a nice buzz on that. I never read.
It was fiction. Seven Wonders was a thriller. It was like Indiana Jonesy. It's different.
But I gotta read that one. Because a lot of people talk about Seven Wonders.
And I'm going to work on my book too, but I forget the name of the character already.
Blumbar
the shitting chimp.
Yes. Coming to bookstores near you.
I love it. Awesome.
The last remaining bookstores.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Ben Mesrick on Twitter. BenMezrich. Ben Mesrick.
Is it Mesrick or Mesrich?
I say Mesrick.
Okay, I've been saying your name wrong. I apologize.
It's okay. My parents say Mesrich, so you're probably right.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong.
Oh, you had to be different than your parents. Huh?
I don't know. I always just.
Yeah, my parents actually.
What do you think?
Which one would you fuck? The one on the left or the one on the right?
We started with this today. What do you think?
I think she looks great.
Yeah.
There's my answer. What do you think?
Airbrushing.
There seems to be a lot of
airbrushing. So, of course,
But I think the Kardashians in general use an enormous amount of airbrushing. I mean, I haven't seen anyone in person, so.
Yeah, another Jenner world record. 65-year-old woman.
That's funny. Another Bruce Jenner world record.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh? There you go.
Fastest person to 1 million followers on Twitter.
Wow.
Took 4 hours.
Is that right?
Beating out Obama, who did it in I think 4.5.
And now Obama knows what he's got to do next.
Imagine that.
Awesome.
All right, Ben. We'll see you next time.
Thank
all right,
you guys. Awesome.
Be good, buddy.
I think we're done. Jim Norton's tickets have gone on sale for Charlotte.
Pre-sale is on sale now. Just go to CLTComedyZone.com, and I'm doing a couple of shows. I sell very well there. The lowercase password is CHIP to buy your dumb tickets. And then if you want to see me in Pittsburgh, Atlantic City, Albuquerque, Seattle, Minneapolis, or Detroit, go to my website, and all links are up. And remember, next Tuesday at the Big Barnes & Noble, I'm doing the Colin Quinn event. And Colin was texting before, and he hates Valley Jim. So he's going to get some of that.
Oh, good. Yeah. Is Colin coming in to promote this coloring?
I would hope so.
He's coming in, officially. Great.
Yeah. Well, guys, I had to write a book.
What do you got there? Another movie for the car?
Oh, can I see that?
Yay, the SpongeBob movie. Sponge out of water. This is perfect for the car. Thank you.
Hey,
Roland.
where were you yesterday? I tried to call your hotline.
I heard you.
He didn't pick up the hotline.
Why didn't you pick up the hotline?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a hotline.
I was on hold yesterday. I called and you was talking to some lady, you fucking piece of garbage.
What lady was I talking to?
I don't know, some bitch about Bruce Jenner.
It's probably when Maria Menounos was on the phone. Maybe that's why I didn't pick up.
I was on the hotline and
I
you
understand.
didn't pick up.
I'm sorry I didn't hang up on Maria Menounos for Chip.
You should have. I'd give you all the news about Caitlyn.
You didn't know anything about
That lady's got a pecker!
Thank you, Chip, for bringing clarity to
That
the
lady's
situation.
got a pecker!
Again, it's unoriginal thought.
Why? That's an exclusive. What are you talking about?
It's not even sort of exclusive. He doesn't
That's
even
an
know.
exclusive. I mean, we're all wondering if he has a pecker still.
First of all,
and you got the exclusive. What's wrong with you? You're like, this is what you need for your show.
Nobody's wondering. And
You
using
can have
the
an
word pecker,
but
they are.
But he has the exclusive. It doesn't matter where you get the exclusive from.
But
he's
doesn't
telling
know.
the world that Caitlyn Jenner has a pecker.
When he just thinks it's funny.
I saw it. I was out yesterday. I was in the airport. I saw it. I just started saying. I didn't mean to. I was like, that lady got a pecker.
Okay,
that lady's got a pecker.
Why were you in the airport yesterday?
I just fucking hang out there sometimes and pretend I'm a pilot and meet girls.
And Chip hangs out with Jim, and they're,
Yeah.
he would know.
I'm the password on his fucking pre-sale tickets.
You go on your show today and tell the world that you know for a fact Caitlyn Jenner has a pecker.
Should I reveal my sources?
If you want to,
fuck.
that's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think the blogs will absolutely pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would.
But say, I have no doubt my source is good.
Well, how sure are you, Chip?
My mother said so.
Okay, well.
It's Adam and Eve, Chip, but not Adam and Steve.
According to Chip's mother, Chip just passed gas.
See, the legs tightly together tells me, Sam, but I'm not,
I mean, it looks like a tie.
It tells me that there's a pecker still there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a tuck, but I'm not going to take Chip's word for
They're
it.
tight, and there's a crossover with the legs. That's trying to make a vagina.
I'm willing to have the conversation with you, but I'm not willing to take on Chip as a point of reference for anything.
Well, that's where you're making a mistake.
Hot the line, you wouldn't pick up the goddamn
hotline.
phone. I know. I was
Hotline.
on the hold and you wouldn't pick it up.
You're making a big mistake, I'm telling you.
Hotline.
I was on the hold and you wouldn't pick it up.
Why you have like a pseudo stereotype Italian accent with words?
Pseudo what? I ain't in court.
He's gonna give this exclusive. He's gonna give this exclusive to somebody else. You're making a big mistake. I'm telling you right now.
Pseudo, is that Jane's sister? Fucking piece of garbage. Fudge with me.
Oh, God. Fudge with you.
Sam Roberts will be on today at noon on this channel.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're going to be on.
No, just me, Paul Feig, who directed the movie
Paul
Spy.
Feig. I don't care what he does in his private life.
And Jesse May Peluso is coming by, too.
Well, Jessie may or may not. That's her business.
God damn it.
What is Pelusoing? I never did that.
Because it's something she might do.
Yep.
Yep. Chip won't be there, though.
Well.
Gas again.
That wasn't me.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. That was fucking girl's name did it.
Adrian, you mean?
Yep.
God, that was
That
tight.
was him.
That's tight. This shit is tight.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
Who's tomorrow? What we got?
Time to buzz
Oh,
off.
Tom Papa.
Yes.
And the real estate guys.
Hey.
$1 million listings or something?
Yeah.
The one guy I know, because I ran into him when I was doing some apartment shopping a couple of years ago. He
Excuse me.
Excuse us.
he's a fan from the Boston days.
Really?
Yes, I forgot his name though. Well, it's not Frederic.
Bimmel.
I think it's Ryan or Lewis. Ryan.
Oh, who the heck knows?
Maybe it's Lewis. No, it's probably Ryan. I don't know.
Ryan Lewis from Macklemore.
How's he doing?
Not so well. The fact that Macklemore is not doing so great.
Is there a bit of a drop off in his career right now?
Oh boy. Really? Macklemore?
Yeah.
Everybody realized he was a douchebag at the same time.
And just said goodbye.
Yep.
Oh,
And then Ryan Lewis was like, God
he
damn
fucking
it.
blew it because all he had to do was shut his fucking mouth. He just said stupid things.
Yeah.
And he cried.
Yeah.
He's a baby.
The real bad one was when he texted Kendrick Lamar saying, I shouldn't have won Best Rap Album, and then Instagrammed his own text saying, hey, look at my apology.
Humiliating and shallow.
Yeah, really
Describing
bad.
myself.
Oh. That one backfired.
So Macklemore's done.
Yeah, Mac left now, right, guys?
This is the moment.
I mean,
is that song still on the charts?
No.
This is the moment.
He could make a comeback. I could see it, but right now he's not.
He's got to
not
reinvent himself.
Ah, shut up.
All right,
Wow.
Chip. I was just trying to have a conversation, but
I'm out. Bye. Peace out, Trav.